Welcome back, Mr. Cotta. Hey. Sorry, everybody. My couldn't shut my mouth and had my meeting ran over with my mods a little bit much, so my apologies. But here we are, back in effect. Welcome back to the cafe, everybody. Thank you all for those of you that joined us this morning and woke up with us with current events and a cup of Joe with Doodle and Dago. I appreciate that so very much. It was a great show. I enjoyed myself so very much. I'm really liking this waking up thing with you guys. And here we are again, guys. Don't forget tonight. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's get this show on the road. We're going to be looking into it's an open discussion today, guys. A little bit of everything. We got some stuff to talk about with Stephen Stearns, maybe a little Diddy stuff to talk about as well. And who knows? There's a lot going on in the true crime world. So once again, please share this out. Don't forget to hit that like button when you come through that door. Let's get this show on. You know. All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the cafe. It is great to see you all. Thank you guys for joining us today. Let's get back to some true crime. I hope you're all having a great day. Again, thank you for those of you that joined us this morning and woke up with us with a little current events and a cup of Joe, me and Doodlebug in there. I appreciate that whole crew in there today. You guys were awesome. We had a great conversation about a whole bunch of different things and a few laughs, which is always very important. And I enjoyed myself very much. Come on in the door, guys. Again, make sure to hit that like button as you come through. Find a comfortable seat. Share this out. Neighbors, friends, the mailman, the milkman, the dog, the cat, your cousin. I don't care who it is. Share it out. Bring them on in. Let's do this thing. But again, don't forget to hit the button, guys. You can pretend like you like me just for a little while if you don't mind, so we can get this in an algorithm. I appreciate that so very much. We got 24 peeps in here, 28 likes. We're heading on up to the top. Come on in. Like I said, we're going to be looking into a little bit of everything in the true crime realm, leaving it open for discussion. I always enjoy those. Maybe having a couple guests up here with me today. Who knows? We'll see what happens. You never, ever know. A little P. Diddy, maybe. Stephen Stearns and some other stuff going on. Let's talk about it. You can say hello to my other co-host, Tony, back here. I know he's a little thin, but he's here. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that too, Cap. We're going to look into the sheriff that shot the judge a little bit today. It's a little bit of everything, you guys. I enjoy doing it like that. I really like keeping it true crime. Yes, Cass, his name is Tony. You know, Bony Tony. Or Boner for short, whatever you want to call him. It's up to you. Exactly. That was very funny. Very funny. We got a comedian here today, a couple of them. I'm trying to feed him, Cass. He doesn't know. Anyway, who we got in here with us today besides Tony? Looks like Cassie's in the house. Hello. Squishy bum, like she said. Don't you mean Bona? Hey, yes. Forget about it. Truth Nation Uncensored. Our friend Willie's back in the house. Good to see you, Willie. Good to have you here. Brandy B, the OG. Welcome back, Brandy. Prime Paula, welcome back to you as well. Let's see. Walt Harris in the house. Good to see you, Walt. Captain Jenks, welcome back to you, my brother. Miss Alicia J. Hello, hello. Let's see who else then. What else we got here? Let's see. Give me one moment. Sorry, guys. My son just walked in. Give me one. It is. Sorry, my son. Like I said, just walked in the door. He had to show me a couple things. So back to the business at hand. Like I was saying, Cap Jacks, welcome back, my friend. Spooky Paws. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us today again. God, too much coffee. I think I can hear my fingernails growing. Bonnie Bailey, hello, and welcome back to you. Good to see you. Good to have you here. Drama Destroyer, hello and welcome back. Great to have you here. Let's see. I think that's everybody so far. 28 peeps in here. Alicia J. Toby Marie, welcome back to you. Why did the skeleton cross the road? Because he had no guts. That's very funny. That is such a dad joke. I love it. Welcome back, Miss Crystal. We just started. No late here. I was late. He's a bona fide co-host. That's right, Cassie. Oh my God. I thought I was king of the cornballs. Arctic Fox back in the house again. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for joining me today. Let me see here. Let me see. All right. I think I got everybody. If I didn't, I will catch up with you. I promise. Willard. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, I think we're gonna be checking that out too, Willie. The Suge Knight interview in regards to Diddy. New things that popped up. Michael 007's back in the house from over the pond. Welcome back, Michael. Great to see you again. Thank you for joining us today. Oh, my son brought me my coloring books. Yes, guys, I do coloring books. It's relaxing for me. I love it. They're adult coloring books. Pretty cool stuff. Yes, I like to color with markers and colored pencils. I'm a very artistic person. How about that one, guys? I'll have to show them to you when I'm done. I like drawing and coloring and stuff like that. I got to keep my hands busy. These things, you guys, I'm telling you, they relieve anxiety. They really do. I got my coloring books and my markers and colored pencils. It's a real deal set, folks. I've been doing this for a long time. It keeps me calm. You know what I mean? When my anxiety gets nuts. So anyway, it is very relaxing. I love it, guys. And some of these books are really cool. This one here, my wife picked up for me, Horror Beauties, because I'm a big horror fan. They got some really detailed and detailed pictures and stuff. You know, I had a couple of these that I framed actually before. I have a comic book cover that I did. I have a Sugar Skulls one that I did. Went through two of those. I actually bought two of the same one time. Stuff like this, I love it. I did a comic book cover, and it's a false comic, and it's called The Invincible Jason, which is Jason Voorhees from Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th, and then it says, and now Freddy, and he's in there like it's like a Marvel comic cover, it looks like, and I colored it all. It looked pretty good. I don't either. I used to do model cars. I do like dioramas for the action figure stuff and stuff. I build stuff like that. They are, Michael, very relaxing. It's hanging on the wall. Thank you, Brandy. Hold on. Let me see if I can get down. 1 second. Yeah, it was black and white, and I colored it all in. Then I put it into like a little frame thing. Hold on a minute. It took me 3 months. No lie. 3 months. And then I ran out of markers. I had to get new ones. I was pissed off. I ran out down in this region over here. And then it was struggling because I had to try to find the same colors and stuff so that I could match it all up. Yes. There actually was a Texas Chainsaw one I could get online. But yeah, that's it. You guys know I love my horror stuff. Why I love this time of year so much. But yeah, it was a friend of mine owns a comic book shop, and he was like, "You still into the coloring thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, I got these blow ups of like they look like comic covers and the different things." He goes, "You want a couple of these?" I said, "Yeah." So I got that one, and then I had a Halloween one, Michael Myers one, and my granddaughter found it, and she colored it for me. Not the way I would have colored it. Just saying. Thanks, Spooky. I'm a huge horror fan, you guys know. Of course, my see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil statue. This was done with 3D printed. My neighbor made it for me. Anyway. Thanks, Arctic. Rosemary Chicken is back at Eaton Park. Okay, thank you, Walt. I appreciate the information. Thank you again, Brandy, for putting that up. I appreciate anybody that donates to the channel via those links. We never ever expect it, you guys, but it is so very much appreciated. It keeps us rolling. So thank you again. You buy those and fill in with color. Yeah, Cap. Exactly. You just marker it in with all these. This set here, I got this a few years back. Has every color you want, and it's got these markers are kind of cool, you guys. Because on one end they have what they call the brush end. It kind of is almost like a paintbrush, and then this end is fine point for like specific little details. Very nice. Oh yeah, well I got a bunch of stuff. Horror stuff. I've been collecting for years on that. You guys have seen. You know I'm a horror fan. I think I've showed you guys before. I think you guys remember this. Yeah. Yes, Michael, felt tips. Yeah, I'm very particular about my markers, guys, and my colored pencils. I've got a bunch of colored pencils too. Sorry, Cass. Sorry. Come on, it's just a mask. It's not real. See? I got a few of them. I got my Twisty the Clown mask that I made for when I do that. It's just the mouthpiece here. Jeffrey. Welcome, Jeffrey. Good to see you, Jeffrey. Spooky, I'd be here forever. Ever, and ever. Here's my Creep Show energy drink. It'll creep you up all night. It's blood red cherry flavor. Welcome, Mark and Betty. That's my Creep Show energy drink. Of course, one of my, as you guys like to call them, dolls. One of my figures. I have a lot of these, actually. Most of them are in boxes, but this is one of my one of my Michael figures that are out of the box. He's even got blood on his hands, if you look. So, just one. Yes, Michael Myers is my favorite. They're not dolls, Brandy. Look. He's an action figure. See, he's got a tan. See, his legs are tanned. And then I have two more of him in boxes, different versions of him. And they come with knives and weapons and all that kind of stuff. They're posable for that. So yeah, that's some of the toys that I collect. Sorry, Spooky. I have a lot more. I've been collecting this stuff since I was like a kid, though. So lots and lots more. Here's my Twisty mask that I made. Yeah, I made that out of rubber. Sorry, I hit the microphone and turned it off again. I hate when that happens. God. Sorry, guys. Of course, my Slimer. You guys have seen my Slimer before. My, what the hell was he called? The 10,000 volt ghost from Scooby-Doo. You guys have all seen my Scooby-Doo stuff. I got tons of it. I got the Mystery Machine. I got the gang. All Things Silver probably collects coins, I'm gonna guess. I got a lot of horror like stuff. My this catches all of my holds all my pens and pencils. I have little bits of things everywhere. This is a cup out of Universal Studios for the Universal Monsters my kids got for me. I got all sorts of memorabilia everywhere. There's one thing I want really bad that I still don't have, though, you guys. And that's a real size Chucky doll. I want one. In a bad, bad way. One of these days I'll get one. Can you guys hear me? Sorry about that. Check out our TikTok, guys. Brandy just put something together for it. As always, great stuff she does. Welcome, everybody. Joey Agrella, welcome back to you. All Things Silver. Yeah, maybe I'll show you guys some more of my stuff Friday night when we do our paranormal, creepy, and unexplained Friday night. Did I do it right, Cass? Well, wait a minute. I guess I can show you these two things real quick, too. Or these three things, I should say. I'm sorry, you guys. Oh, there goes Tony. Stand still, Tony. All right, and then we'll get on with the show. There is my ultimate movie version of the Mummy, Boris Karloff. Again, like I said, I've had a lot of this stuff for quite a while, you guys. This was actually a Christmas gift 2 years ago. But it's the 50s movie version. And I also have, I put this in backwards, I guess. The Wolfman, same version, Universal's 1950s version of the Wolfman with Lon Chaney. And then I have another version of Michael. I know there's a bit of a glare. And this one is the Halloween 2 version from the original movie. It comes with all this. This was a Christmas gift, Jesus, probably 10 years ago. And I have more of those too. So anyway, those are just the three that I could get to right now. I have the 50s version of the Frankenstein's monster, the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I have Dracula. Bunch of stuff. Good to see you, Joey. I wish I had the $80 to get it, Joey, but I'm only when I get what I get. I gotta pay bills first. That's more important. Halloween 2, the original one, not Rob Zombie's. Rob Zombie's version of Halloween 2 was horrible. It was stupid. So Exorcist is a rough one to watch alone, especially at night, bro. I get it. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. I don't think anybody can watch that by themselves. It's crazy. Spooky thinks T-Bone's gonna move. You better stand still, bro. Close your mouth. You're getting flies in there. There you go. All right. All right. He is. Rob Zombie's doing a Freddy Krueger thing too, or Nightmare on Elm Street, whatever you call it. The Fourth Kind was a pretty messed up movie too. I agree with that, Cass. Again, guys, get yourselves some Creep Show energy drinks. They creep you up all night. I have the original Creepshow comic book too from back in the day. Oh, so. I don't know where that came from. Oh, I do know where that came from. Okay. And you know what? You guys can call them dolls. I don't care. I love them. That's all that matters. Yeah, that was a good one, Willie. That was actually a good one. He's got the Dago hat on too. You see it. Next thing, I'm gonna have a Bama hat on him next. Oh yeah, they were good, Arctic. I agree. They were good. I like the '80s ones too, but of course, I have my poker picture up here too. I did show you guys that last year, I think, where it's Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy, Chucky, uh, Ghostface, and Leatherface. They're all playing poker at the table. Number 39. Boo to you, Miss Leslie. Good to see you today. Thank you for joining us. Guys, please make sure to hit that like button when you come through the door. Anyway, enough gabbing. I know I'm driving you guys nuts. You guys get me talking about this stuff. I love it. It excites me. So, but that's why I have these books. Like I said, I love Halloween. My wife picked this up for me a couple days. Well, this one I had for a while, but I love Halloween and I love the coloring stuff. The pictures are pretty good. They're almost like sketch. You know what I mean? Some pretty cool stuff in here. A lot of skulls and pumpkins and stuff. I love the sugar skulls to color those. And these can be framed too, you guys. They're made for that. To put, like, if you want to put the pictures in frames and put them on the wall. This one's pretty awesome. When I'm done with that, it's going to look good. 35 days to Halloween. Halloween. 35 days to Halloween. Silver. Anybody know what I'm singing? Shamrock. I'm about to get those figures too. They're three little kids that are wearing the silver shamrock masks from Halloween 3. If you guys know what that is, what I'm talking about, maybe. 3 more days till Halloween, Halloween. 3 more days till Halloween. Silver shamrock. My favorite candy. You mean like candy in general? Like I love candy. Whatchamacallit, candy bars. That's my favorite. I'm not really a candy. I don't really care for candy too much. Um, I like runts. I do like runts. I don't eat it anymore, but I do like runts. And I like whatchamacallit, candy bar, my favorite. And anything else with nuts in it. You know, candy bars with like Mr. Good Bar or Baby Ruth and stuff like that I like. Yeah, well, I don't have many left, so you know, I gotta be careful with that, Joey. Just saying. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. All right, guys. I think the first thing we're going to jump into, because it is fresh and it's kind of interesting, as it states in the title here, is we got stuff coming about Diddy, Steven Stearns, pretty much the same person, my opinion. There was an interview that Suge Knight gave recently. News Nation picked it up, where he speaks on this, and there's some interesting stuff, and he throws some names out too. I thought you guys would definitely want to hear about that. Arctic Fox, true crime in the house. What's happening, my brother?
Hey, not much. Did want to say, if everyone wants to think your Halloween action figures are dolls, those action figures and Barbie are going to have some fucked up looking offspring.
Very true. Very true. I do agree. That would be some creepy looking shit between G.I. Joe and Barbie. A little crazy. I agree with you on that one. So, like I said, the first thing we're going to jump into today, because I thought this was pretty wild, is there was an interview put out, News Nation grabbed, from Suge Knight, who we all know is in prison. Okay. When this Diddy stuff hit, Suge said that he sat quiet for a long time, didn't say nothing, so on and so forth. For those of you that don't know who Suge Knight is, he was the co-founder of Death Row Records, which was a very big producer of like Dr. Dre, Tupac, quite a few other rappers, Snoop Dogg, a lot of their albums that came out in the 90s, end of the 90s, mid to end 90s. And he went to prison because he was crazy. He's done a lot of crazy shit, and he's still in prison. But he was very close with Diddy and quite a few of the other people. So at this point, he released an interview. News Nation picked it up. Actually, a few people have it at this point. And it's kind of surprising. There are some names that he says that you're like, wait a minute, hey, what? So I think it was Cuomo who talked to him, interviewed him per se, but I figured we could jump that on real quick. Check it out. Listen to what's said. That goes along with what we've been covering with Diddy, of course. And I'm going to stick with that stuff because I'm really curious. I'm not typically into the crimes of the stars. This is a big deal to me because of some of the things that he's done. It kind of goes in line with what I cover. So we're going to cover that. Oh, yeah. He was a music producer, Leslie. Yeah, I guess you could call him that. He basically was a thug that ran a music company is all it was. Never eat hard-boiled eggs again. Willie, come on. Welcome, Exotic Prairie. Good to have you here from Southern Oklahoma. Great to have you here. That goes for all of you guys. Thank you for joining us today for this. So we're going to jump into that, and then I do have something on Stearns that we're going to look at again. We're just bouncing around throughout the true crime world today, folks, with an open discussion about everything we talk about. So be it. Exactly, Willie. So let's see what we got going here. I want to review this first and talk about it and go from there. Thanks for joining me again, Arctic. I always appreciate you.
No problem.
I always like your insight and your opinions on these things as well. So, Monopoly Man. That's actually kind of funny, Doodle. He's not broken. That's a cool. I never would have thought of that. It's a cool costume. All he needs is a really big mustache and a hat and some glasses. Definitely an old soul, and that's awesome. Welcome, Taylor. No worries about being late here.
Why should they believe you about what you think and feel about Sean? For people who have done a little bit of homework and know who you are, why should they believe you about what you think and feel about Sean Diddy Combs and any allegations against him, given your history of animosity with him?
Well, first of all, I'm not calling you or nobody else getting nobody to believe anything regarding him. Like I said, and I always say, me personally, I don't jump up and down and cheer no black man going to prison or any other man, any other human being going to prison. Because people think prison is always the answer. I'm not saying a lot of people don't deserve to do their time and see what's going on. But at the same time, that's not no cheerful thing, because when you look at it, that man have kids.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever affects him definitely affects his kids.
Hang on a minute. Some of the words he's saying are not coming out clearly, so let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know there's a lot of victims involved in it, and whatever affects them affects their kids. So it's not a good thing to be talking about any shit about the next person. But it's not a gray area with me. And at the same time, Puffy didn't react.
Okay, well,
Or people he got or doing those things or those allegations by himself. He was taught from people before him, and he did it to the younger people after him. And we can talk all day and say what's true, what's not true. Only true part about it is videos, conversations, and people can see what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
But for it being happy and proud and say, what do people think? That's irrelevant.
So, Suge.
It's just like I heard earlier today when Ray J was talking to TMZ.
Mm-hmm.
I got love for Harvey, but I see Charles always got something negative to say when it comes to West Coast people. And Charles tried to make a reference to say that, how do I feel when I'm in prison? Yeah, I'm in prison. I guarantee you I'm free more than Charles. If I feel like sleeping to 5 o'clock, or I want to sleep 12 hours a day, I can.
Sure.
But besides all that, the fact is, it's not no competition who's going to talk the loudest or talk the best. It's not something positive that can help anybody. I don't get on no platforms unless it be something positive. If it ain't positive.
I understand what you're saying. I want you to try to make some positive points here. I get what you're saying about TMZ, but that's not really my interest, as you might imagine. My interest is in what you can help people understand about these allegations that Diddy is facing and what you believe he's facing on the inside. Now, what's most interesting to me is that you seem to see Diddy as kind of an Epstein kind of figure, that Jeffrey Epstein, that a lot of people know what Diddy was about, and they were about the same thing, and that's why they're quiet. That's why J-Lo and Ben Affleck got divorced, because of videos that he has of her that now they know about. Where is this coming from with you? What do you believe about the people around Diddy and what everybody knows?
Well, first of all, you got to start with at the top. If you're starting with the top, Clyde Davis, Russell Simmons, Andre Arell, Jimmy Iovine. Even if you take Jimmy Iovine, he had an allegation from him, same thing, it went away. You take Jimmy Iovine. They told me at Universal and Interscope, they said, you know what? We can't deal with artists that gets in trouble. And your artist gets in trouble, they talk crazy.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Keep going, Suge.
They speak about what they see. Now, I was told that I can't do business there because of that. Now, Doug Morris gave Puffy a deal for millions of dollars. It flopped. So when you look at all these things and everybody want to say Puffy, 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 don't get me wrong. Yeah, Puffy stepped in this shit, and even if he wiped the shit off his shoe, it still stinks. But he's not the only one. They got all the tapes.
Now, when you talk about the tapes,
but this been going on for a long time.
Hold on, Suge. Help us understand, because a lot of this stuff is a little inside baseball for people, right? Because they don't live the life, they don't know the world, they don't know the players.
Your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
That's just a recording from the prison. That's just saying that they record it, which obviously they do. Suge, help people understand, what tapes are you talking about? Who has them? And what kinds of things do you think they show?
Well, number one, luckily, I wasn't their first choice, their second choice. I wasn't no choice to be at those freaky parties. but you know what they show. They used to have a thing in the industry, right? And the sad thing about it, I don't like mentioning Usher. I don't like mentioning Justin Bieber. I don't like mentioning all these people that everybody know what time it is. So at the same time, they used to have a joke. They never played this joke with me. And they used to walk in the Interscope office. They'd go back there and they'd be like, hey, we passed the test. I said, we haven't did the test. One dude said, well, don't say that in front of Mr. Knight because he's going to take it offensive and hurt somebody. I said, well, whatever it is, I probably will take it offensive when somebody will get their ass whooped. You know, that was me in those days. But they used to have these guys, they used to call it the boiled egg test. They could take a boiled egg, a raw boiled egg, and have those guys put their pants down and bend over and they stick it up their ass. The eggs break, they say they're not ready yet. They ain't put enough work in. This is Hollywood. So everybody want to go act like they don't know what's going on.
Hold on a second, Suge.
You just look. That's all you got to do.
I have never heard of anything like that. So if I haven't heard about it, just assume a lot of people haven't heard that before. But you think it's on video?
Let's stop for a second.
Go ahead, Suge.
Yeah, listen, and also, have you ever been to any puffy parties?
No.
You sure they had a long time to think about it. But if you haven't been in those butt naked parties, even some of the preachers been in those parties, and they wasn't on their knees praying for God. See, they was praying for somebody to have come real quick or something. But I wasn't there, but there's proof of it. But at the same time, everybody want to look around and act like something going on that wasn't right. It's the facts of life in the industry, not for the people who don't get in. So everybody, you got to look at it like this. When you see a beautiful woman or you see a handsome man, and it was like that all their life, from elementary school to junior high school to high school, if they forced to go to college, right? They always knew they had something special about themselves. If you take some of the Hollywood executives or some artists, it might have been the ugly duckling for a long time before they had the teeth fix and lipsticks and nose fix, all the work done. Underneath, they still the young men with no confidence because they've been that way all their fucking life. So all of a sudden, if you look at Puffy old pictures, don't look nothing like his new pictures. You know, shit, they didn't do everything.
But Suge, just because he has plastic surgery, all I'm saying is, I'm not saying that you're wrong about rich people doing stuff to their face or whatever it is, but that's different than the allegations that are coming down on him.
I'm talking about richer people. I'm talking about the difference. I'm talking about, okay, look at it like this. I look at real plain and simple. Ain't no whistleblower. Facts is there. But right now, I don't care if it's T.I., I don't care if it's Rick Ross, I don't care if it's Jay, I don't care if it's Snoop, I don't care if it's Game, I don't care if it's Dre. Nobody's stepping up on the fact that you know what's going on.
Nobody's defending him. You're right.
Guys at Interscope.
You're right.
Okay.
Nobody is defending him, but that's why I was interested in hearing your perspective.
At one time, he was the king of.
Okay. Still don't never change. He still just rambles on and on. There's more. Hold on. 1 second. One second. Now, one of the things that Suge just said kind of hits home. I mean, it makes sense. People are acting surprised. But he said this is part of the industry. It's how it happens. But
I mean, he's not wrong about comparing Diddy to like Epstein or Weinstein.
Right.
any of the others that we've seen in the recent, say, 5-10 years. So
Well, you're very true. You're very right. And I saw the Epstein list. Okay, Diddy was one of the first names at the top of the list. You guys, Weinstein, Steen, whatever. He's a Steen. He's on that list. Diddy's on the list. Suge Knight was on that list. There's a lot of people on the Epstein list.
there were some that were shocking, though, like Stephen Hawking. That really surprised the living crap out of me.
It did. I agree with you. I mean, the man's in a wheelchair and like, but hey, money's money, Arctic. You know that. Money will get you what you want. Doesn't matter who you are or what you're. Clinton was on the list. Bill Cosby was on the list. A whole bunch of people that are not surprising, but there were names on there that I was like, wait a minute, what? Johnny Depp was on there. Oprah Winfrey was on there. Cameron Diaz was on there. There's a lot of people that I was just like, wait a minute, who and how? Okay, but again, yes, these people are all the same. And the one thing that sticks with me that he said that I've been hearing, Bill Gates, of course, that I've been hearing throughout this whole thing, is that people are surprised. Are they though? You guys, we've known this stuff as adults, okay? Once we became adults, we've known that there's weird things that go on in Hollywood, behind the scenes, in the music industry, behind the scenes, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Did we expect it to be this dramatic, this criminal? No. But we knew there was weird shit going on. We did. I did, at least. I got to say it, because I followed the music industry for years because I'm a musician. And I've watched and read and watched different stories, documentaries, different life. I've read books about people's lives. It's in there. Okay. Now, some of this stuff I'm a little bit surprised about, I should say, because why are you not caught until now? It's this. It's this. This says one thing, guys, that really is kind of sad to me. If you have that kind of money, we could all do this kind of shit if we wanted to be that kind of person. You can do whatever you want with money. There's people that were on that list. Guys, did you see the video we just watched in the background? You were watching. Did you see who popped up behind Diddy in the video at one of his parties? Part of the royal family was there at his house, at his party. Come on now, guys. We look at these guys.
Now, that's not shocking to me. We all know that Prince Andrew has his fair share of controversy and issues regarding diddling kids, too. So,
yep. And Prince Harry. I mean, what are they doing there? These are people that are role models for the world, okay? The royal family. But is it surprising? Like Arctic said, no. Money. The only people you don't see at these parties, you guys, are who? People like us that don't have that money, okay? Not that if I did, I'd go there. I'm just saying some of the people that go to these parties didn't know what these parties were. I'm going to a P. Diddy party. I'm going to be somebody. It's going to give me a name. It's going to give me fame and whatever. We probably would try to go to these parties if we had that kind of money, just because everybody else does, until you see what it's all about. Like a lot of people that have come out and said, I don't go there.
that's rational, but you would think that these people that go to these parties and stuff, once they see what's going on, they'd speak up about it. But none of these people ever really spoke up about it. That's the problem.
Right. That's the big problem. You are absolutely right, my friend. Why? What the hell is the deal with that? Like, so that tells me that the people that had the brain knowledge, to say, wait, this ain't cool, they went and they left. They didn't go back. But why didn't they speak up? Is it out of fear? Is it out of, the whole, which how I feel about this, the whole, that's not my business, I'm not getting involved bullshit, which that's the problem right now. We need to stop minding our business. Welcome, Kel. And start doing something. Welcome, Belinda. Just saying. Of course, Kris Jenner and the Kardashians. What the hell's her name now? He changed it. Bruce changed his name to, what is it? Caitlyn Jenner. Yeah, she's been there. I'm just saying, you guys. Everybody that's anybody has been involved in this in some form or fashion, Whether or not they chose to act on it, that's different. But it's the same time, like Arctic made a huge point, you guys. It's a big deal. They didn't speak on it. There's a few small handful of people that did. Good. But there's 14 full handfuls of people that didn't. And why? Are they afraid they're going to lose what they have? Are they afraid that they're not going to be who they are anymore? Are they afraid for their life? What is it that's behind it? You know what I'm saying? That's the question. That's the problem. You know, and everybody, it's you know, everybody wants to be a star. Everybody wants to be somebody. Everybody wants that money. Everybody wants to be important. I tried it. When I was young and dumb, when I was 18, I thought I was going to be a rock star. I went to LA. It was a joke. I went broke and came home. That's it.
I mean, look at all the people that knew about the little kids being in Michael Jackson's bed and stuff. And some of those people not only didn't speak out on it, but are denying that he did anything to them when they were probably most likely victims themselves. So, I
They were
mean,
okay enough. He was okay enough to pay them. They weren't. What? I mean, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Absolutely. He paid. A lot of those people took money from him. Just let's not talk about this. I'm Michael Jackson. We can't talk about this. Okay. That's what makes me sick. People that sold their children basically to these people. I don't know what the outcome was for Michael Jackson, but I will tell you right now, I'm kind of leaning towards the side that everything he was accused of, it was very possible that he did. And I loved Michael Jackson, you guys. I thought Michael Jackson was one of the most talented people on this planet ever. I followed Michael Jackson.
Too. I mean, I can remember being like 6 and 7 years old and being enthralled with the Thriller album and stuff. It broke my heart when all the accusations came out against him.
Yep, 100%. Guys, I dressed like him. I danced like him. I had the Thriller album was the best album. I still have it, guys. I do. All of that stuff. Okay. But at this point, just like Bill Cosby, I told you guys, Bill Cosby, welcome, Brian. I was brokenhearted when Bill Cosby's stuff came out because he was America's dad. Everybody looked up to Bill Cosby. Picture pages. When I was a kid, The Cosby Show. Cliff Huxtable was everybody's dad in America. People that didn't have fathers looked up to him as a father. I know it sounds dumb, but it's a fact, you guys. Okay. And then that comes out. It ruins it for you. It ruins the way you think about life in some ways. It's really ridiculous to say that, but it's the truth. So now, how many of these people do you think are going to come out of this that we've all looked up to, that we've all looked to for role models? Our kids have looked to for role models. Okay, we see it happen again and again and again. Yesterday, Arctic brought up Lou Pearlman. Every boy band that ever existed pretty much in the 90s was ran by that guy. And everybody in those boy bands, mostly I should say, was affected by him in a bad way. Timberlake, shit, I can't think of their name. The Carter brothers, I think both of them were actually affected by him. The New Kids on the Block at some point were even affected by him. Okay, and the other guys from that other group, I can't think. There was a few of them, but just saying, it's the power and the money. It seems to be like it's almost like a prerequisite for being in that industry. It's really sad, but it's the truth. And here we are. So I wanted to play some more of this here. Hold on a minute. 1 second. And something else too, real quick. Ever since this came out, I don't know if you guys heard what Suge said in that last part of the interview. He said, let's start from the top. The names he threw out: Clive Davis, Berry Gordy, who was the CEO of Def Jam before? Russell Simmons, Kamori Simmons. These names were like way back when. Berry Gordy, those they're in the music industry, and there was a statement made that Berry Gordy, who used to produce the Jackson 5, Michael Jackson, did this to Michael Jackson.
Well, and it goes to that saying, ignorance is bliss. This stuff's been going on in Hollywood and in the entertainment industry for decades and decades. It dates all the way back to the 20s and stuff, but we didn't know about it because we didn't have the internet throwing it in our face every day. And
Yep.
unless you were local to it, you didn't read it in the local newspapers and stuff. I mean, this shit's been going on forever, but we're more aware of it now, and it's really literally ruining a lot of our childhoods because people that we thought were good people that we looked up to, which goes to that whole parasocial relationship thing. They're turning out to be the scum of the earth. So
They're 100%, bro. Everything that I can remember being a musician, falling in love with music at a very young age, is based on what we're talking about right now, and it's destroying what I know to be like royalty to me, in a sense. Not to sound dumb, but facts. Okay, Michael Jackson, we just talked about him. I idolize Michael Jackson, guys. That's where I started with music, pretty much. The dancing side of it, the lyrical side of everything, the voice, the songs, all of it. And look at who he became in some senses. Okay, and now they're saying here, Suge says that Berry Gordy, who produced a lot of the acts from back in the 60s and the 70s in Motown and so on and so forth, was doing it to them. So even our parents, in some senses, are looking back going, what? And now it's like a domino effect. Is that where Michael learned it from? If he did these things, is that what's happening here? Is that why, that it's been claimed that Usher was a victim that became a predator? I don't know. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just telling you, these are things that have been being said. Welcome, Don't Dive. Good to see you, dear. It was learned somewhere. I agree with that one, Willie. They don't just walk into the industry and go, okay, I'm going to be this person. You get it from somewhere. Because most of these people that go into the industry go in an innocent phase of their life, wanting to be somebody, or they are brought in by somebody for some specific reason or another. Maybe they have talent, maybe they don't. There's people that have been taken into the music industry that had almost zero talent whatsoever. Milli Vanilli, okay? They could dance, but they didn't even sing their own music, guys. If you remember them. It's okay, Elizabeth, welcome. But they were still brought in because they had a certain look and they could dance. So they bring them in and they have 2 or 3 fat guys sing their music. Because those 3 fat guys wouldn't look good on stage. That's why they did stuff like that. Back in the 80s and late 80s, that was a thing. Until people caught on that lip syncing was happening and they had to shut it down, and people actually had to have some form of talent. But they still do that now. They have pre-recorded music that they put out that people they're singing it, but their mics aren't like loud enough that you can hear them clearly. That's why people live sound horrible. And they didn't.
Well, now everyone just auto-tunes themselves.
That's pretty much what it is now. Everything's electronic, folks. It's not real music anymore. It is what it is. They do what they do. But like I said, Bieber, another situation. They brought Bieber in because he had a certain look. He did have some form of talent, and they exploited every bit of that and did what they did to him, sadly. Aaron Carter was the same situation, in my opinion. He had a look about him. His brother was a star. They brought him through. Look where they ended up with him. The Wahlberg brothers, same type scenario. I don't think they went through all that, though.
Leslie and Billy, I wonder about Elvis too, and it pains me because my whole family grew up listening to Elvis. I mean, the first concert I went to, I was like 6 months old, and it was an Elvis Presley concert that my dad took me to. But he was kind of, getting a little close to his wife Priscilla when she was only 14 years old, and he was stationed over in Germany. So you got to wonder.
Yes, I agree with that. I agree. Guys, let's go backwards. Even let's go back to the 50s. Jerry Lee Lewis. Okay. Great Balls of Fire, that guy. If you guys know who he is. Great, amazing piano player. jazz piano. He came with a form of music that nobody had seen or heard in that at that time, like Chuck Berry and stuff like that. Jerry Lee Lewis married his 14-year-old cousin, and it was okay because he was Jerry Lee Lewis. Those types of things happened then, which, going back to what Arctic said, this type of shit has been happening for a long time. We just never knew about it because we didn't have the ability to just turn on a machine and look at something and go, there it is. We had to wait for these things to get brought out, talked about. People didn't investigate these scenarios, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? It's money. Yes, he married his cousin, Michael. His cousin was 14 years old. That was his cousin. It wasn't his first cousin, I don't think, but still it was his cousin. It's still weird. You know what I mean? Woody Allen, yes. Milli Vanilli. That's what I'm saying, guys. I mean, the industry is not what everybody thinks it is. That's the sad truth that we're seeing at this point. It's a very dark-sided scenario. Everybody wants to be the Nelson twins. Their father was Rick Nelson. He used to be on a show in the 60s, I think. I can't remember the name of the show.
Ozzie and Harriet.
Thank you. There you go. Thank you. Good stuff. The Nelson twins came out. The blonde brothers, long hair. I can't live without your love and emotion. I can't remember the name of the song. Glam stuff. Okay. There's rumors out about them and their father when he was part of what he was. This is what, 50 years ago at this point, and it's just ongoing. It's just new people brought in over the decades. Okay. Like two more. What's the matter, Brian? Incredible music that exploded in the gay world. Yes. Yeah, and their sister was on that show. It was a mystery show. Is it the one with shit? Baker. I can't think of the show. Anyway, their sister was on a TV show too. She was an actress. Damn it. I hate when I can't remember something. Anyway, this is just it's a deadly set. I don't want to say deadly. A very, very dark cycle that is like repeating itself again and again and again and again. Square pegs. Yeah, I remember that too. And that's, yes. Matt and Gunner were the brothers. Yes. Ronnie Millsap or Kenny Rogers. Right. That's true. But I wouldn't be surprised, Doodle. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. It's just not as broadcast. Jerry Seinfeld. I didn't know anything about him. But again, we talked about yesterday when we were talking about that whole thing with Diddy. We brought up Dennis. What the hell was his name? He was in Head of the Class, the Nickelodeon scenario.
Oh, Dan.
Daniel. That's it. My son knows it. I can't think of his last name. But anyway, the heavyset guy from Head of the Class he was a big time producer for Nickelodeon.
Dan Schneider.
Dan Schneider. Thank you, bud. iCarly and multiple shows that were put out via Nickelodeon. There were issues. Jeanette McCurdy that was on iCarly was like, she went through a lot. There were things stated by the Gibby, I think his name was, from iCarly. Miranda Cosgrove herself spoke out about certain things, but other shows that were back in that time, there were issues with people. It's just like, if you become part of this, you become part of that. Okay.
The rumor is, and it's never been substantiated because, Jamie Lynn's not going to say yeah or no, but the rumor is that Dan Schneider knocked up Jamie Lynn Spears when she was doing her show on Nickelodeon. So
I heard that too, and it's never going to come out. You're right, but I've heard that as well. Mia Farrow's ex-husband, Woody Allen. Yeah, right, exactly. There's always something going on in the background if you're in that lifestyle, folks. Always. It's a dark, never-ending cycle. It's cycle. Why can't I say cycle today? And it just keeps repeating itself again and again and again in different fashions, different places, different areas of that industry. Whether it's music, Hollywood acting, movies, there's always something going on. I remember reading stories and watching a documentary. I think I brought this up yesterday too. But going back to the early 80s with like Drew Barrymore and the Coreys, Feldman and Haim and all them, these kids were going at 9 and 10 years old into nightclubs, doing cocaine, smoking weed, drinking, getting drunk, passing out, people taking advantage of them, having sex at 10, 11, 12 years old. What the fuck is going on? And the parents, okay? The parents are the ones that allow this because they're being handed money basically to sell their children. That's what I've called it the whole time. You're pimping out your children, okay? So they're just as responsible, in my opinion, some of them. Not all of them, but some of them, yes.
Oh, yeah. And Drake Bell's a prime example of that. Drake's father had expressed his concerns about everything that was taking place. He saw that Drake was being groomed and manipulated and stuff. And so he goes to the mom, and the mom gets custody of Drake and locks the dad out of Drake's life altogether. And what happens? Well, Drake ends up getting raped. I mean,
it happens. It happens. Corey Haim, Corey Feldman. Good to see you, Stevie. Canadians are different. Hopefully it's not going on over there too. But there was a situation that happened with, everybody knows who Charlie Sheen is. Okay. There was a movie that came out 84.
Lucas.
Yes. Thank you. You already know where I'm going. Okay. That they were both in. Corey Haim, which is the one that is dead. Corey Feldman's the weird one that's still alive. That Charlie Sheen forced himself on Corey Haim, and that Corey Feldman kind of set it up and knew about it. They were best friends. It happens, you guys. It's disgusting shit. Now we're talking about this guy who is, I think, isn't Sheen HIV positive at this point?
Yes.
I thought he was. And it's all based on his lifestyle, they said. So, again, it's the industry. Amanda Bynes, Lindsay Lohan. Yes, those two 13th are welcome. Yes, that's true. Lindsay Lohan went through a whole bunch of shit back in the day. Amanda Bynes is crazy at this point, from my understanding. She was another Nickelodeon kid. It's unreal. Go ahead.
And in fairness, it's not just Nickelodeon, it's also Disney. I mean, look at all the shit that Britney Spears has been through. And unfortunately, we as society, we're some of the biggest problem, because when Britney was going through everything, we couldn't live for enough for the drama and all the spectacle she was making for herself on social media. Rather than trying to get this girl the help that she needed, same with Aaron Carter. Everyone was on Instagram watching this man fall apart before our eyes, but no one tried to get him the help that he needed.
That's very true. Very, very true. Somebody asked me to pull up a Britney Spears video one time. I'm like, she doesn't do videos. Pull this up. I pulled it up. And it's her dancing in front of a camera. Obviously, something's not right there. She's detached. Her father brought about a conservatorship because she has something not right. Nobody helped her, though. They just controlled her. They didn't get her the help she needed. And Britney has had issues for a long, long time.
Well, and in fairness, her dad did the conservatorship so that he could control all her money too.
Yes.
It wasn't about getting her the help that he needed. If it was up to him, she would have never gotten out of that conservatorship. So
that's exactly it right there. It goes full circle. It comes right back to the money once again. And I'm going to say this. I don't know what Britney was like when she was brought into the industry. She was a Disney kid back in the day, just like Timberlake and a couple others. I don't know what she went through there. I'm sure there was something that happened in there, because it doesn't come from nowhere, okay? I don't believe she led a normal life, because these kids don't. They don't come and go to school like we do. They don't live their normal lives like we do with their families. They go and they live these crazy lives that's nonstop. They pretty much work these kids to death. Hold on, guys. Sorry, you guys. Yeah. Whitney Houston was in another issue. Clive Davis. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Don't dive. Anyway, so it started a long time ago, and it's just progressed and got worse and worse and worse. And now we have people like the point I was trying to make, people like Diddy who have threatened people's lives, or maybe even taken people's lives at this point, because he had so much power. Okay. Nobody stopped it. Nobody pointed it out. Nobody tried to get in front of it. They let it go. I gotta tell you, I truly believe that this man is responsible for taking people's lives. At least a couple. I'm gonna say his wife is one, and some other people. I truly believe he had Kim killed, which was his
Oh,
wife.
Kim, and then you've got Tupac. I think he's directly related to Tupac. I mean,
I agree with that, and I think he was somewhat responsible for Biggie too. That's just an opinion, okay? Um, one of the things that Suge said really sticks with me too, and he's not the only one to say that. A couple people have said this: is that Diddy knows too much, and somebody else made mention that he may lose his life because of that. Because now he's up in front of the whole world, and to be able to get out of this, what's he off? What is he gonna off to do? And people worry about that kind of shit. They're actually behind this stuff, the people that are higher ups. And I told you guys when this first started that he's going to roll on people. What do you want to bet this man doesn't live very long? If he does, I'll be surprised. I'm just saying I don't think he's going to, because I think somebody's going to try to take him out. Thank you.
without a doubt. I mean, number one, predators in general don't do well in prison. I mean, and he's definitely got people going to be trying to take him out before he tries to cut a deal, or maybe start spilling the tea on other people that are involved in everything. So
More important people. Yes, I do agree with that wholeheartedly, because that's what he's going to do, you guys. If they say you're going to get life plus because of what you've done, tweetily tweet, it's going to come flowing, and they know that that's going to happen. This man has been living a lavish lifestyle most of his adult life. Okay, he doesn't know how to live in prison. He's not going to want
and
to
we
live
all saw how long Epstein lasted when he got sent to prison.
Yeah, when he took his own life, right?
Yeah, took his own life. I've got that in air quotes. Yeah.
100%. That's what I'm telling you to look for with this. I'm telling you to look for it. It's gonna happen. I'm almost confident. The ring diddler. Yeah, yes, Stevie. And that's true, Noel. That's the point that I was making. Somebody taught him this. Like I said, you don't go into this industry and walk in the door and go, okay, I'm here to do as much ruining of people's lives as I can. They don't know this when they get into it. They're innocent when they go into it, and they leave a predator, in my opinion. Okay. Who taught him? We know who taught him. The people that mentored him, the people that brought him in, just like the people that brought them in. It's just been going on forever and ever and ever. That's just now coming to light because we all see this stuff now, like Arctic said earlier. So I think that's a big deal right now. What he has said. Hold on a minute, because I wanted to play some more of this. Give me a second. All right, hold on. Let me put this in here. You might drop down, Arctic, but you're still in here. It's the way that this is setting up the thing. But hold on a minute. Okay. I think you should be able to hear it.
He's definitely gonna be the black motherfucker holding the bag. 'Cause you gotta realize one thing. That boy life is dangerous. And his life isn't, and he just not dangerous with the shit they said he was doing, but he's in danger. He know too much. One thing you gotta realize is he probably having a conversation right now with the higher ups and everybody else to figure out how it's gonna work itself out. Because he know all the secrets. And if he get to run his mouth, it could be a bad look. I look at it like the most important thing is the industry need to be built over. You have all these executives because somebody with their father, their grandfather, or all these type of stuff, and they don't give people the opportunity to grow and learn. I know when I first started in this business, it wasn't a machine. I had to be the machine. I had to figure out how to get my songs on the radio. because at that time they was getting 5% and they got 10%. It was popping champagne bottles. I went from 95% of the songs you hear on the radio was my songs into 97%. So you had to really do all this thing and really do the work. And once the work was known that it could be done, and I was generating the type of money for the people I was involved.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
They wanted to be hip hop because the difference was that Michael Jackson was spending, say, 75 million, 50 million before he sell one record. They give him 75 to 50 million dollars advance. He might spend $50 million, or he might spend $100 million to make his album, and $5 million on the video. I was spending $50,000 to make an album. I was spending $50,000 on the video. I was spending $150,000 to promote it. So, and if I sell 3 million records, and Michael Jackson said 3 million records, or if he sells 10 million records, I'm gonna make more money.
That's right.
Off my projects than his projects because I'm spending less money.
Right.
Because I was the machine. So once they realized I was the machine and they can have a machine like that, the majors wanted what I started, they wanted my artists. But when they took my artists and they got control of the industry, everything went from $50,000 to make an album to fucking $5 million to make an album. Until these guys having all these dancers and all this extra shit, all the surgeries and all the extra shit, right? So in the end, they blew hip hop out the water so much that they were going to have to start cheating for everybody to eat. So you had an artist, and the only thing they had to do with the machine is show up. Show up for the interview, show up for the photo session, show up for the studio, show up for the video. Now that's being taken away because all these people been using all these artists. And at the end of the day, the artists end up broke. Or now you have different Spotify stuff or Apple or different ones, right? The strings. Who is making the count or policing the strings? So how you know they're not saying, I got 5 strings and you got 1?
Right.
Or however it may be. Nobody have no way of knowing that. So now the artist can't have that machine to be certified cash anymore for making money. So they all going crazy. So now everybody telling on everybody. Everybody drinking more. Everybody doing more product. Everybody doing those little sick little moves of the guys waking up with their butt sore. That type of shit. Or the girls waking up, they don't know what is that. So everybody's stressed the fuck out because the machine is over. So now they just need to rebuild and put decent people in the industry. Have the machine back. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, with what you're saying, it's very important because you had a business model that is costing them money. You're spending less money, you're making more profit, you're making them look bad, and they're supposed to be the executives, the professionals, and you're the amateur building up a company on your own without a background. You didn't go to school to learn how to be an executive, and you're building a business doing $750 million. Here's a question for you. In the financial industry, you'll hear many times they'll say, these companies are part of the too big to fail. For example, we can't let AIG go out of business. We can't let Bank of America go out of business. We can't let these guys go out of business. Is Biggie part of the too big to fail, or are there people way above Diddy that are part of the too big to fail that they'll always be protected? Specifically.
And this is what I've been talking about, you guys. This is what I'm saying. This is the issue I think that there is now. That there are people. Okay. That there are people that are way above Diddy, that are way more important than him, that are involved in this. That's where this is going to become the big problem. Okay. And that's what I'm expecting to see happening at this point. And it probably will. We won't see it, but it probably will. Just saying.
Particularly when you say higher ups.
Well, you got to look at it like this. Puffy is one of those black guys is probably more fear of white America in black America. We feel in black America and pass all that. They can't get to him. The white America, you got to show them some respect. Are they going to spank him on his ass? Especially now, because when you really look at it, Ciroc was a great company that gave Puffy opportunity. I think he gave him $1,000 to get in.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was able to make all this money. And then he wanted more and more and more. And the first time, they didn't allow him to throw a tantrum, even with the stuff that people hit in with probably. So he told them, hey, you racist. You motherfuckers is racist. They say, yeah. You know, I often say that I was raised in Compton, but I was made in Vegas at UNLV. UNLV taught me the opportunity to be around people that was businessminded, that was loyal, that was happy. And that's where my lessons came from. So I understand business better than most people. That's why I ain't never been in no damn videos. So at the end of the day, when Puffy went at the alcohol business, I used to play football with John Kennedy Jr. almost every weekend. One of the best guys I ever met and hung out with. We used to play football. But that being said, he come from a bootlegger family. Most of the big guys come from a bootlegger family. You know, the alcohol when it was legal. These guys is smart enough to be humble, but wide enough to be aggressive tough. So when Puffy challenged him, and they knew Puffy lived in the glass house, his house came tumbling down because those rocks was coming through that glass house. On the simple fact, when he called those guys racist, and they knew he had those hidden secrets, they ain't just found out that the things Puffy was doing. They ain't just found out how the industry is. They haven't just found out how they pick and choose. They're part of the government. And I say that because that's why it was so easy to snatch motherfucking Puffy down. And all the people that Puffy fuck with, they can't say nothing because they're part of it too.
Yeah. I can no longer remain in today's Democratic Party.
Tulsi Gabbard says she is no longer a Democrat.
God, I'm so sick of these commercials. Hang on, guys.
Potential Tulsi Gabbard VP.
Where we are being told that we just have to comply and go along with whatever they say. American people are smarter than this. However, we must remain vigilant to recognize their propaganda for what it is, pure lie. Unfortunately, we live in a time where free speech is under attack. Whatever they say goes, and we have to just follow. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology. On a debate stage before, I would look forward to doing that again.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch
2 weeks ago,
These damn political things won't let me click out of them. It's so irritating. Hold on a minute. All right, so that's done. Here we go.
P. Diddy behind and indicted on federal sex.
Right, let's try this now. There we go. So that was the interview with Suge. The political ads are going nuts. They're driving me insane, you guys. I'm telling you, it's so many of them. I know it's election year, but damn. Enough is a damn enough already.
Trafficking and racketeering allegations. But those aren't the only accusations Diddy's facing. In fact, there are dozens of allegations dating as far back as the 90s. We're breaking down all 47 shock.
Oops, I put the wrong thing up. Guys, I got so many downloads. My apologies. Give me 1 second. Bear with me. I just got to flip it out. Hold on. There was another one that was just released that I thought was kind of funny. Not funny, but interesting. And then we're going to jump over to something different after this. We got to hear what Aunt Nancy has to say about it. You guys know. You know she's going to jump on the bandwagon too. There she is.
Tonight, Diddy boo-hoo. Sean Puffy Combs behind bars. What is his life like? This as Diddy whines, trying to get transferred to another, more cushy jail. This as charges seemingly mount. Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us.
Metropolitan Detention Center. We now know the music mogul is on suicide watch. Guards check on Combs on the hour every.
He's not on suicide watch. That's not true. He's actually in segregation with another. I think I read this to you earlier. He's in segregation with another. I think it was the cryptocurrency guru guy that's been putting 25 years in. That's who he's in a cell with right now. But it's not. Unless they're just watching him thinking it is, hey, Angel, good to see you. That's all. So
every hour to ensure the rapper has made no attempts to harm himself. The extra monitoring is reportedly a standard practice at the jail for new high-profile inmates and not the result of Combs' psychological exam at intake. Defense attorney Mark Agnifilo claims his client is strong, healthy, confident, and focused on his defense after spending 6 hours with Combs at MDC after bail is denied.
So let me understand what's happening. Is it true that Sean Combs, a.k.a. Diddy, has been placed in a suicide watch ward when he is not really suicidal? Joining me in all-star panel to make sense of what we're hearing right now, and joining me on the scene, crimeonline.com investigative reporter Angelica Martinez. Angelica, thank you for being with us. What do we know about the so-called suicide ward?
Yes, Nancy. So according to some reports, Sean Puffy Combs, aka P. Diddy, aka Brother Love, has allegedly been placed on suicide watch, and he is being held behind me in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. The suicide watch, as we heard, is usually a standard practice for new inmates as they are being taken into the detention facility. But his lawyers say that.
Put her up. Angelica Martinez, did you actually just say that all new inmates go to the medical ward? Did you say that? Because that's not true. I think it's just Diddy is on the medical ward.
So that is allegedly where Sean Puffy Combs is currently being held, as far as we know. But again, I want to highlight that his attorney said that P. Diddy, Sean Puffy Combs, is strong and healthy and focusing on preparing his defense. So reports are a little mixed on that. But yes, he's currently being held in the MDC, which is right behind me, as we know. And we have a former warden, Cameron Lindsay, who is actually on record as saying that Diddy poses as a very attractive target for other inmates in the MDC, saying, quote, to deliver a hit on him would be considered a badge of honor, end quote. So Diddy is in quite a hairy situation, whether he is on suicide watch or just surrounded by other inmates. Doesn't seem like it'll be going too well for him inside the MDC anytime soon.
Joining me at the MDC, Metropolitan Detention Center, Angelica Martinez. Angelica, please stay right there. Interesting that Sean Combs' lawyer is worried about him being a target of a hit. I just finished Diddy's former fiance.
why would his attorney be worried about that, you guys? Why would they think that there'd be a hit put out on him? Because he knows too much. Because he can roll on somebody that is way bigger and more important than him. And they don't want that to happen. Well, I think that's what happened with Epstein, to be honest with you. I made a joke earlier about him taking his own life. I think everybody in here knows that Epstein didn't take his own life, okay? It just didn't happen, period. And I think that that's probably what the scenario would be. Maybe that's why they're watching him like they are, but he's not listed as being in suicide watch. They're just watching him closer. He's not wearing the vest that they would typically put on somebody that has been acted suicidal, made statements about it, blah, blah, that kind of stuff is what I'm saying. Is
I
that why
think
they're
someone's going to take him out just like they took Dahmer out, honestly. I mean, and Epstein.
Yeah, that's well, yeah. They made Epstein look like he did himself in, but Dahmer was just blatantly killed. And here's the thing. When Dahmer was killed, I think we all know this too, it was allowed by the COs for it to happen. They set it up that way. So, Dahmer did some things that people is a no-no. Diddy's not far off in some of the stuff he did. I don't think that's why he's at risk, though. I think he's at risk because of what and who he knows and other things that he could bring forth before his trial. So I'm just saying, guys, this is like a ticking time bomb and a waiting game at this point. Thank you, SRB. I don't know why that's still sitting up there. And I think it's going to happen. I really do. I don't expect to see him make it to a trial. That's just an opinion I have. And it's only because this is a shaky situation, folks. Very. And you got to think about where he's at in his life. Think about who's above him as far as power goes. I'm talking about like high money, high power people, congressmen, presidents that could have been involved in some of this stuff, like people like bigger name people, okay, that are even higher up than him, or maybe people that are on the same level with him that have more power than him, if that makes any sense. But I expect it to be a thing. I really do.
Now deceased Kim Porter's book, Kim's Lost Words. Now, this has been published recently, posthumously, after she died, and it details a lot about Sean Puffy Combs' sex proclivities. Don't care. What I care about is forcing sex on other people, and even more important, ordering not just the hit on Tupac Shakur, allegedly, but also the hit on Tupac Shakur in an elevator where he was shot before he was shot and killed. He survived that hit. And according to Kim Porter, if this is to be believed, the attack on Big, the notorious B.I.G., Biggie. Is this real? But now the tables have certainly turned. Now his lawyer is worried about him being the object of a hit behind bars. Straight out to renowned psychoanalyst, Dr. Bethany Marshall, joining us, author of Deal Breaker. You can see her on Peacock. Dr. Bethany, thank you for joining us. The tables have turned, and I am not in any way condoning more violence. But this is quite the comeuppance to be concerned about a hit by an unknown inmate behind bars when, according to his fiance, he was the one ordering hits.
That's right, Nancy. Puff Diddy, aka Love, has been in full power and control in every area of his life, including being able to cheat on girlfriends, being able to force sex partners to have hours of sex with unwanted partners while on ecstasy and on other drugs. He is always pulling the levers of power behind the scenes. So the question is, behind bars, would he really be suicidal? I mean, on the one hand, he's impulsive and aggressive, which can be a precursor to suicidality. On the other, Nancy, he loves himself so much, and he is kind of grandiose. He thinks he's controlling everything from behind bars. I doubt.
Kel, I don't see it. Hold on. I don't think it went. Does anybody see gifted memberships in the YouTube stream, the chat on YouTube side? Because I don't see them over here. I don't see it yet, Kel. Leslie and Billy. No, I don't see yours either. Hold on, you guys. Let me check something. That ain't good. YouTube's been
acting off for about a week now anyway, so
I had 27 subscriber drop after like an hour this morning, which doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't know what the hell they're doing. No, they're not on the YouTube side of things either. Oh, wait a minute. Leslie and Gil. Yeah, I see yours. Stevie Irwin got it. Congrats, Stevie. Thank you, Leslie, for that. But I don't see yours, Kel. Thank you, Leslie, very much. Congrats again, Stevie. Welcome back to the sauce, buddy. Yeah, it's not over here, Kel. I double checked to make sure it went through, or if it may not have. Thank you, Doodle, very much. Sometimes it just doesn't process. I've had that happen before. Yeah, right, SRB. At the end of the show this morning, it went from 23 to 279. I know. YouTube's been acting really crazy, and they do that all the time, and it screws things up. It was telling you error. Okay. Maybe you didn't process it right or something. I don't know. Then again, it could be YouTube because they've been doing some weird shit. That's a fact. The premium should be up. Hold on, guys. Let me pull this back up for you. They've been glitching a lot. Yeah, I agree. There's been a lot of problems with it. And, you know, we have to do certain things their way and make sure this is right, that's right, this is right, or we get cut this and we get things pulled, and they need to be held to the same standard, in my opinion. I'm just saying.
I doubt he really thinks he's going to be there forever.
I'm very concerned specifically about the allegations in Kim Porter's book. Now, this was released posthumously after she passed. Okay. His longtime love, his fiance, we've been told. And I question on page 26 in my handwritten notes, does Sean Puffy Combs, aka Diddy, hate women? Because according to her, he by far preferred sex with males. Do I care? No, I don't care who he sleeps with. I do care if it turns into rape or if it turns into a sex attack. That I care about. But I'm curious, Dr. Bethany, I'm curious if this is true. Would that be a reason, a psychological reason to drug women and video them and all of these compromising situations, being raped while they're on drugs, having them beaten so badly they have to go hide out to rehabilitate and get rid of their bruises? Is that an underlying? And of course, I'm just a former prosecutor. The why is not anything I would have to prove to a jury. However, practically speaking, a jury would want to know that. Is that a psychological reason to torment women and degrade them and debase them because you really don't want to be with them?
You know, Nancy, it's one of many reasons to torment and torture women. You know, according to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, there are 5 perversions, and P. Diddy has every single one. Frauderism, which is rubbing up against an unsuspecting person, exhibitionism, voyeurism, and sadism. Sadism is when you obtain sexual pleasure from inflicting cruelty on other people. In fact, with a true perversion, the perverse person cannot relate to others as full individuals with thoughts, feelings, and emotions of their own. They just become objects to triumph over, and they become sexual objects at that.
I want to be very clear. Sean Puffy Combs, aka Diddy, is not charged with pedophilia. He has not been convicted of anything yet. And under our jurisprudence, he remains innocent until proven guilty. And that is a fact. But I got to tell you, straight out to high-profile criminal defense attorney Tim Jansen, former federal prosecutor and now legal analyst, Tallahassee Democrat. Tim, here's the thing about this book by Kim Porter. One, is it by Kim Porter? Because it has an as told to here. So is it really from her diaries? Okay. Number one, that would have to be verified and authenticated. But if it is true, Tim Jansen, it's still hearsay. And it would be very hard to get this into a court of law unless, you know, you can beat the hearsay rule with a lot over 20 exceptions, such as deathbed declarations. And according to a deathbed declaration, she asked for this to be published after her death. and she notes that it will hurt her children when they read it. But you know, it's so full of very serious allegations, not just the forced sex allegations that we already know of. It talks about celebrities in and out of Diddy's home, all of them sleeping with him and or others. Is that true? Don't know. But what concerns me the most, Tim Jansen, is the very clear and very rich in detail circumstances and conversations that she hears about ordering the hit on Biggie, Notorious B.I.G., and Tupac Shakur. What about it?
All right, so it is hearsay. I'm not sure it's relevant. I'm not sure under 404B that would be admissible in any way. I'm not sure that would satisfy a dying declaration. As you know, dying declaration, impending death has to be occurring or about to occur, which gives it an indicia of reliability. Now, if they can find witnesses who can verify any of these facts that they eyewitnessed, and they probably are going out there now trying to find these witnesses, they could.
There it is, Kel. Thank you so much for that. Give the 5 memberships. I can't see who got them at this moment, but congrats to the new meatballs. Thank you so much again, Kel. I appreciate that very much, and welcome to the sauce, you guys. We appreciate having you as part of the family, part of the community. God bless.
Could possibly call in if it's part of the charges in the allegation.
Hey, Tim Jansen, I, like you, have already been thinking about those issues. This is a bombshell right here. If it's true, if she really said this, if I can prove this and authenticate it came from her writings, and these are her words. But think about it, Jansen, because what she says she overheard were conversations with another person. So there is another witness. And again, the federal indictment does not touch on the Tupac Shakur killing or the Notorious B.I.G. killing. So that would have to be another case. What I'm saying is charges could be mounting right now, because once the feds get a hold of you, isn't this true, Tim? You were a federal prosecutor, now defense attorney. Once the feds get their hooks in you, you're not going anywhere.
Thank you so much, Bonnie, for the super sticker. $10 super sticker. That's awesome. God bless, Bonnie. We love you. And I'm so grateful to have you in this community. Thanks again so very much.
They dig deeper and deeper and deeper. And I would not be surprised if more charges were added as part of, in furtherance of, the criminal enterprise they've already charged.
Oh, I think you are exactly right. The criminal enterprise has many tenants. And, you know, once he's in custody and he's away and he doesn't have the power over people, people are a lot more willing to talk. And a person who was protected, who now is looking at 15, 20, 30 years in prison, they might be willing to talk, knowing that he's in custody and probably can't reach him. And they could hide that witness and don't have to disclose his testimony for quite a while. So you could see a superseding indictment, which could add other charges.
Another question, and this goes straight out to Shannon Henry, although I'm going to need a shrink on this one too. Shannon, president founder SAS, which is Surviving Assault Standing Strong, a nonprofit to help eradicate sex trafficking and abuse on women. Shannon Henry, I kept reading this, every page. I'm like, why did she stay with him? Why did Kim Porter stay with Combs? She's hearing, allegedly, according to her, planning a hit on Tupac Shakur, and then it did happen. He was shot in an elevator years before he's finally killed. He survived that, and he suspected that Sean Combs was behind that hit. Okay. And according to Porter, he was. Then she overhears sitting at the table. It's not like she's listening at the door. She's sitting there hearing the discussion of no more protection for Biggie. If Biggie's not loyal to Combs 150%, then Combs can't protect him anymore. And what if he gets killed? And he goes so far to say in this book, Shannon, that Biggie is worth more to Combs dead than alive. Why? Because it would ignite news and rumors about East Coast, West Coast feud, and it would help his business. Believe it or not.
Before Biggie was killed, he was about to be leaving Bad Boy Records. that was probably truly what happened in that situation. So,
not. Again, this has to be authenticated. So my question to you is, Shannon Henry, if she's hearing him plotting these crimes, these killings, these shootings, why would she stay with him? Why do women stay with violent men and risk their own lives?
It's really simple, Nancy. It boils down to fear. Nobody comes up and punches you in the face and says, "Would you like to go on a date?" Right? We would never go. So what happens instead is they work their way into your life. They're kind. They put you on a pedestal and you feel like everything's good. They see me, they get me, until that pedestal turns into a spotlight and you realize you are in a spotlight only to be controlled, only to be manipulated, and only to be hurt so that they gain what they want, and you stay because you're afraid to leave. And when we look at his history of arson, physical violence, gun violence, mental anguish that he inflicts on people, as well as sexual violence and allegedly murder, it's really clear why somebody would be afraid to walk out of the door.
For a bail appeal hearing, Agnifilo submits an amended bail package. Combs agrees to have no communication with women outside of family members and the mothers of his children, to have no contact with known grand jury witnesses, referring to victim one, to use a private intelligence agency to monitor him 24/7. Sage Intelligence will ensure he has no cell phone or internet access, administer weekly drug tests, and turn over a daily visitor's log.
Diddy behind bars in a New York jail with alleged barbaric and dangerous conditions as he's placed on suicide.
you guys think they're going to approve that bail? I don't think they'll approve that. But he's really trying to get out in a bad way. He doesn't know how to live like that. Welcome to
Watch.
In addition to snacks and hygiene items, Diddy has the option to purchase full meals from the MDC commissary. His options include stuffed chicken with rice, eggplant parmesan, bone-in chicken, a rib steak, or beef chullent. The estimated billionaire will have to watch his $160 spending limit per trip.
What? Did I just hear a ribeye? Let me check that. A ribeye, beef stew, egg parm, chicken with rice. What? Whoa. Well, let me see. Grits, oatmeal, pancakes, syrup, French toast. I'd like some French toast. What's for lunch? Chicken wrap, hamburgers, baked chicken, tacos. I would love a taco. Dinner, roast beef. I'd like that. Salisbury steak. Fajitas. What? Okay. Sydney Sumner joining me, crimeonline.com investigative
No
reporter.
wonder we ain't got money for nice things. The damn prisoners are eating better than we are.
Well, here's the thing. This is if you spend this money. If you don't have that kind of money, you get what they give you, which is the garbage that they typically get. But if you have the kind of money that you can afford to do this, on your books, then yeah, you can get all this shit. This is insane to me, though, that this is even an option for prisoners in general, period. But it's a way for the prisons to make money, too, in the jails. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, they can get this stuff if they have this kind of money put on their books, which he does at this time. But if not, guess what you get? You get whatever slop that they make every day for the generalized.
I was gonna say, when I went to jail, I got some fuzzy green bologna and a moldy orange. So, I mean.
Yeah, I didn't get that either. Not at all. I got some petrified grape juice, road tart coffee, a piece of toast that was probably from the 30s, and I don't even know because I didn't eat any of it. The only thing I drank was the coffee because it kept me awake, wide awake. But that's it. Yeah, but this list here, I looked into this already. This is for the people that have money on their books that can afford this kind of shit where they can eat real food. This is made to order daily. Anybody that don't have money that's in general population that just doesn't have, they're just standard prisoners. They're not these big money and high-end people. They don't get this kind of shit, guys. It's not a regular thing. So, and here's the other thing is you get what you get. If you're the low end of this, you get whatever slop they make and you get one helping of it. You don't get any extras. You can order as much of this shit as you want. Tell me how fucked up that is. That's insane. It's all about money. Everything goes back to damn money. everything. Yeah, right. I'm surprised. I'm sure they could probably order out certain people. I'll tell you right now, I'm sure there's people that are in there that are fans of his that would probably get him whatever he wanted if he asked for it. And that's probably what's going to happen in some senses. So don't be surprised. Just saying. Fuzzy baloney. Gotta love that.
Joining us along with Angelica Martinez outside of MDC Metropolitan Detention Center, Sydney Sumner, a steak? He can have a steak whenever he wants it? What, do you just order it?
Yes, there are several different meals that Diddy could be ordering instead of what's on the regular daily menu. And those meals cost anywhere from $5 to nearly $10 for that rib steak. But yes, he has access to all of that, all kinds of snacks. He does have to watch that $160 spending limit, and it's unclear how many times a week he can visit this commissary. Maybe once a week,
it
twice
says
a week.
$160 per trip. So, okay, I'm just trying to understand why he is getting special treatment behind bars, because his lawyer has been very clear that he is not suicidal at all, but yet he's on suicide watch. What does that mean? That means he's very likely in the medical unit and getting special privileges. Can we just get real for just one moment? Chris McDonough joining me, director, Cold Case Foundation, former homicide detective, and former vice detective. He's a star of the YouTube channel, The Interview Room. Chris, please, just can we speak very clearly and candidly? When rich, famous people go to jail and they're awaiting trial, they can't get into a mini-max, which is a mini, let me see, supervised jail, where they have golf and they walk free and they wear regular clothes, that kind of thing. They can't go there until after their trial. Okay. Before their trial, when they're in a holding facility such as MDC, they get special privileges. Why? Not sure. But they get a private room very often. They get special treatment, special meals. They don't integrate with GP, general population. They don't eat their meals with general population. It's a very rarefied position to be in. I mean, granted that you are in MDC. How great can it be? But it's still kid glove treatment. He is not suicidal, Chris. His own lawyer has stated that. So why is he getting kid glove treatment?
Well, because Nancy, he's a superstar.
Chris McDonough.
That is an absolutely great question, Nancy, because in these units, they're special housing units, right? The SHU unit. The whole purpose of that is to house somebody in there because of one, a threat assessment comes up that this guy is a high threat and or a high target threat.
I don't know if you guys knew, but he was a threat assessment, guys, just so you know.
Meaning somebody else wants to take this person out. The fact that this guy has an open buffet with a $160 tab on a daily visit is absolutely ridiculous. And why that would be occurring has to be because of his status, not necessarily because of.
Like I said, Nancy, he's a superstar. It's because of his status.
Anything other than that in this particular facility. And the other reason that they want to keep him in the SHU unit is to keep the comms down, the communications down to the outside, because he may have influence on an active investigation.
And that's why he's in the SHU unit, because he might have influence on an investigation, guys, just so you know.
And I guess, psychologically,
all right, I shouldn't do that. I can't stand Chris McDonough, though, so I'm sorry. I can't stand him.
No, I'm glad you did. That was great. That was great.
I can't deal with him, and every time I hear his voice, I have to do that. So sorry. That's why sometimes you hear me sitting here going, show. That's what I'm doing, because he drives me nuts. But anyway, sorry. Shaman. They have Shaman, yes. Shaman raps. I agree, Willie. He can't stand himself. Look at it. Every time I freeze, I'm really good at this. Look at her face. Looks like she's taking a big old doo-doo. Push it out, Nancy. Push it out.
Dr. Bethany Marshall, coming from such great luxury and such a lavish
Exactly.
lifestyle, I assume that's even harder to go to MDC when you've been used to that as opposed to other people that are not used to that lifestyle. But that doesn't make it fair that he's being treated differently from the rest of the inmates.
No, Nancy, this does not make it fair. I am sure he is enraged at every limitation that's put on him in this place. And I would imagine his offending pattern, as we've seen it unfold, having power over people, being cruel, trying to have kind of dirt over other people so that he can insinuate them into his lives. I bet he's playing that out in the prison system, trying to talk to the guards, butter them up, get them to join in on his sexual fantasies so then he can rat them out and have power over them. The offending pattern is going to go on and on no matter where he is. Even if he has a bologna sandwich for lunch, he's going to have power, try to have power over the person who made the bologna sandwich for him. So it's going to be the same no matter where he goes.
You know, we were talking earlier about how it would, quote, be a badge of honor if someone managed to attack Combs behind bars. Well, also, the reverse side of that coin is that the jailers and inmates, inmates, just as it was with Epstein, can be easily paid off to do him favors, be his butler, give him additional privileges and items other people won't have. The next move, I guarantee you, on the upcoming court hearing in just a few days is going to be trying to get him to a cushy jail. Now, what will be the reason the lawyer gives the judge something like, I don't like?
Well, he's already pushing, his attorney's pushing to get another bail hearing. Okay. You heard the stipulations on the bail hearing. I don't think they're going to give it to him because of his multiple charges and because of the fact that he very well could run. Okay. That's why I think that he won't get it. If he gets it, it's going to be a very high-end bail with a lot of stipulations. They'll basically have him chained to the water heater. I'm just telling you. I knew Arctic was going to say something like that. Jesus Christ. Anyway, and I just don't think he'll get it. I don't think that they're playing with this guy. I don't think they're going to allow for him to walk out of that building unless he's in handcuffs with armed guards on him, period. That's my opinion, but he might get it. You never know. That'll prove what money and power does. But if they do drop a bail for, it's going to be super high, you guys, in my opinion, super high, which is probably no big deal for him. But if she's right, though, if he doesn't get bail, yeah, he's going to be trying to get pushed over to one of those country club jails. You don't deserve it, dude. I'm sorry, you don't. Those are set up for people that are non-violent criminals. You're a violent criminal, in my opinion, and I believe that he's taken people's lives. He has essayed people. He has done anything you can do criminal. You don't deserve to be in no country club jail. Sorry. You need to be locked down with the rest of the fucking
honestly, if everything is proven to come to fruition in court, he's going to be lucky if he doesn't get a needle in his arm, in my opinion.
I'm right there with you. Yep, I agree. And you know what? Going back to it, for everything he's done, the things he's done to people, juveniles, other people, I gotta say I'm not against it at this point. You don't know, and gotten away with so much of it. That's the problem. So yes, absolutely. So on we go.
Kid, listen.
You can get certain number of federal inmates in Essex County, New Jersey, and in my experience, it's an easier place to deal with. I think it's better for the person being housed there, and it's easier to get access, to him.
That's our friends from AP, and that is the defense attorney Agnafello speaking straight out to former federal. The lawyer gives the
I have to hear that one more time.
Judge something like, I don't like it. Listen.
You can get certain number of federal inmates in Essex County, New Jersey, and in my experience, it's an easier place to deal with. I think it's better for the person being housed there, and it's easier to get access, to him.
all you got to do is walk through the doors, bro, and ask to be taken back to the cell that he's in. That's pretty easy access to me. Sorry, that's an excuse to try to pad Mr. Baby Bitch's life. Sorry. What a joke.
That's our friends from AP, and that is the defense attorney, Agnefello, speaking straight out to former federal prosecutor, now defense attorney, Tim Jansen. So you don't just go in front of the judge when you got MDC full of 1,000 people and say, yeah, he doesn't like it there. No, that's not going to work. You can't say, I want to move to Essex County because it's better. So what could the possible reason, a legal reason for Combs to be moved from MDC to Essex?
Well, he's going to have to come up with a legal reason, like inability to provide legal counsel. His access is denied, or it's not as available in Essex County. He's going to have to give a reason, right? He's in a SHU unit, as they described, for many reasons. But communication to the outside world can still be done. It can be done through his lawyers. Who knows what lawyer brings with them, paralegals who have contact with his people. So he might still be in SHU, but he's still communicating. This judge is probably not going to grant any kind of movement. If there was any judge in federal district up there that would have granted him,
up, please, so I can see him.
It would have been the judge that he has. He has assigned a very fair judge.
Hey, Tim.
Yes.
Tim, at any point were you ever a judicial law clerk?
No.
Okay. So my first year as a Fed, I was a clerk to a federal magistrate. They don't play, by the way.
No.
And let me tell you, I wait for it, the eating arrangements amongst the federal judges. All right, wait. I've got a point here. They all go into typically the law library. It's big, and all the law clerks and the judges go in there. Usually the law clerks, because they're writing all the memos for the judge.
Welcome, Midwest.
They go in there, or unless they have some fancy common area, but ours was the law library, and they eat lunch all together. You know, they drift in and out just like any lunchroom, right? So what about this judge going into the law library to have his or her sandwich that she brought, and they sit down and they have to look at the other judges and go, yeah, I did it. I gave him bond. Or, yeah, that was me. I transferred him to Essex. Why not? That's not going to happen. What do you think?
Well, I will tell you that the magistrate judges get the hint, and they understand what the circuit judges want. They work for the district judge. So they're not going to be granting bonds and giving liberal bonds to conservative judges. On the other hand, if they have
any federal judge is going to make a ruling in this case, she has to answer to the other judges.
That's correct. And the magistrate definitely answers to the district judges. And the district judge was not going to grant bond. Even the pleading and the motions that were filed by his lawyer, it was basically begging, and it raised every red flag any judge would see. $50 million bond and passports of his family and hiring his own intelligence. It was red flags all over it. I don't know how the lawyer made that argument with a straight face.
Please join us on our mission to find missing people, especially
from his victims, who are often young women, barely old enough or still too young to legally consent to sexual activity. He further says the recovered tapes show women completely out of it, while male sex workers assault them on Combs' orders. The investigator says, in his opinion, Diddy's as bad as Jeffrey Epstein.
So that sounds like a surefire charge of blackmail. When you think about it, Sydney Summer joining me, crimeonline.com investigative reporter, we know these videos exist, and now evidence is mounting that the music industry Sean Combs, a.k.a. Puffy, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. Diddy, a.k.a. Love, would use these embarrassing videos to, quote, ensure the women's silence. In other words, blackmail them. See where I'm going with this, Sydney?
Absolutely, Nancy. And that is a very real possibility. You know, before this indictment came out, all of these alleged videos were all just whispers, all possibilities. now we know that those videos do exist. And those videos often depict women who are barely old enough or still too young to legally consent to any of these sexual escapades, whether they were willing or not. So we know that these videos exist and that Combs held them over people's head to keep them from speaking about what was happening behind these closed doors in these alleged sex rooms in his Miami mansion.
Okay, can we? You say that, Sydney Summers, that it's long been whispered. I don't know that it was necessarily whispered. Has anybody heard of Eminem, for Pete's sake? One of the greatest rappers that has ever lived. He's a lyrical genius. I mean, if you listen to you may not like some of the words he uses, but the man is brilliant. Everybody on the panel, listen to this. These are lyrics from Eminem, and he is talking about, I'll just say, a friend, and he says, because they like where my homies out west stay. Yeah, what we can just say, what? I'm like a rapper, R-A-P-E-R. Got so many essays talking about friends. And then Eminem says, wait, he didn't just spell the word rapper and leave out a P, Diddy. I mean, is everybody blind? He's talking about friends, essays. He's talking about out west, Combs. And he says, I'm like an R-A-P-E-R, raper. Got
Oops, sorry. Hold on, you guys. 1 second. The hell did I just do? Derp.
so many essay friends. And then Eminem has let me say backbone since I gave up cussing. Wait, he didn't just spell the word rapper and leave out a P, did he? He's clearly calling Combs a raper. And then he goes on to say, R.I.P., rest in peace, Biggie and Pac, both of y'all should be living. But I ain't trying to beef with him because he might put a hit.
Is it back where it's supposed to be?
Yeah, but you're not full screen on the video.
There we go. Sorry, I don't know what the hell I did. Sorry about that, guys.
On me, like Teffy D, get him? And that's the only way you're going to be killing me. I mean, Eminem puts it out there. Help me out, Jansen. This is so clear. All this business about whispering about raping women and forced orgies and hits. It's not whispers. Eminem did a rap about it, for Pete's sake.
Well, none of this activity was in silence, and it was all known apparently through all the music industry in Hollywood. Hollywood stars were showing up, and for Eminem to put this out, if these are his lyrics, and did this publicly, and the way it's written and who's included, boy, he's got a lot of courage for Eminem to do that.
Sex performances dubbed freak-offs, over 1,000 bottles of lube, and more revealed in the unsealed indictment of disgraced rapper P. Diddy.
Will Sean Puffy Combs, a.k.a. Diddy, get moved to a better jail? We're waiting to find that out. Another court hearing is set for just a few days from now. It's called a status hearing, but that's basically a catch-all phrase for either side to bring up whatever they want. Let me tell you how this is going to work. We know what the federal indictment says, but we have no idea what all the evidence the state has, federal prosecutors have, to back up those claims. Right now, while he is living it up on a medical ward, even though his lawyer says he is not suicidal, right now, are the feds gathering evidence to mount additional charges? It by far would not be the first time that's happened. Charges like what? Evidence like what? Listen.
According to a Homeland Security agent, Diddy's Miami mansion has several rooms, quote, clearly dedicated to sex. The rooms stocked with sex toys, bondage gear, and lingerie are covered in hidden cameras that record participants from every possible angle. The investigator claims Diddy usually watched in person, but he could access the cameras from his phone or cast the live stream to a TV anywhere in the house.
How likely could it be, Tim Jansen? I mean, we see the feds go forward with this indictment after Cassie Ventura's attack video was leaked, where he drags her up and down a hallway, beats her, kicks her, and he is so bold as to come out in a luxury hotel wearing nothing but a towel. There she is trying to get away. This is what blew the whole oh, yeah, here he comes. Here he comes. Now, according to sources, she was running away from a sex worker in Diddy's room, which would mean it had to be being videoed. It's also been claimed by the defense she was leaving because she was jealous. What, leaving without shoes and getting dragged back and beaten? Now, that's not all. Wait for it. This is from our friends at CNN. Then, after he's dragged her that far, he waddles back to his room holding his towel. Now, watch Combs. He goes down to the end of the hall, sits down.
Does she realize she's not showing this? This doesn't make any sense.
Down in frustration and throws an expensive vase at the wall. Yeah, basically, he can do anything and get away with it. My point being, the feds came out with the current indictment after that video was leaked. We got it from our friends at CNN, my former TV home at HLM. Now this book is out. Okay. What, if anything, are they going to do triggered by the revelations in this book after and if it's authenticated? I mean, it's very in-depth about planning a hit on Tupac Shakur and on Biggie. Very, very clear.
Well, they're going to be probing through that book and probing through the house, probing through witnesses. They probably have teams of investigators that are doing each part of the investigation, the sex and violence, and possibly bringing in the people who were involved in the original assassination, the killing. So if they get together and they can charge up this enterprise, including murder, and they can prove it, then P. Diddy will never see the outside of prison.
Here's another theory. Jansen, here's another theory. Even if they don't go so far as to prove the actual murder, there is the legal criminal complaint of conspiracy to commit murder.
Sure.
Also, what about Kim Porter? Listen.
Even more allegations against Sean Diddy Combs are emerging from Combs' ex-girlfriend, the late Kim Porter. Porter's friends have leaked nearly 60 pages from the diary Porter kept during her relationship with Combs in a memoir. The author of Kim's Lost Words claims the pages were provided by a friend of Porter's, who also claims to have tapes Porter copied from Combs' files depicting Combs having sex with a male teenage pop star.
And more.
The diary pages reveal Combs hits Porter for the first time when she refuses to use a strap-on with him. Porter claims Combs hosts quote-unquote parties that are really just orgies and, quote, everyone wanted in. Porter details finding Combs' vault full of videotapes of Combs' encounters, many with young men, stars he had formerly managed at Bad Boy. The author of the memoir was also provided a photo of Porter using makeup to cover injuries Combs caused.
Does that support claims in the federal indictment?
You know what I don't understand about this? Truly, especially with this being the times that it is, If this man is gay, why doesn't he just be gay? It's not a big
Exactly.
deal. It's not a big deal nowadays, especially if you're like somebody like him. It's really not. Why? Just be gay. What's the big damn deal? You'd have been more respected. You wouldn't have to do all this dumb shit.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense to me. I've been wondering that. Like, what image though, Willie? Like, you can have the same image and be gay. Honestly, it doesn't make any flipping sense to me whatsoever. Or did he think he would be looked down on or beat up, or I don't know. That's stupid. That is the dumbest thing. I've been thinking about that for like this past whole week. Like, dude, just if you're gay, then be gay. It's okay. Like I said, I think it would have been more respected and he wouldn't have had to do half of what he did. I think it's dumb. That's all I'm saying. And that's the thing too, is nobody would have cared that he was SRB. That's what I mean. He's P. Diddy, period. You're who you are, gay, straight, whatever. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. It's crazy. I don't know.
Women would have to go hide out for days for their injuries to heal before they could be seen in public after a Diddy freak off. Now, listen to what we hear from the defense attorney, Mark Agnefello. This from our friends at CNN. Listen.
How do you defend against allegations that he hit, kicked, and dragged women when he's on video hitting, kicking, and dragging a woman?
Sure, he's not charged with hitting, kicking, and dragging a woman. He's charged with sex trafficking, and he didn't traffic anybody.
Okay, whoa. Did you hear that, Shannon Henry? Is so perfect from Agnefello. She says, what about beating, kicking, hitting women? And the defense attorney says, oh, well, he's not charged with that. In other words, should you believe me or your lying eyes? I mean, I saw the video, Shannon, and the lawyer's doing an incredible dodge right there.
He absolutely is. And that video shows a microcosm of what the whole relationship with Cassie was. It's here's an object. I'm in control of it. I'm going to do what I want with it when I want. And that's what he did. And, you know, Diddy, I'm so sick of him. I really am. And all of the playbooks that these people have, whether we're talking about Nassar or Cosby or Epstein or Weinstein, they're all on a sliding scale with all of the other rapists and pedophiles and traffickers who serve no use in our society.
The former rapper Jamal Barrow breaks his silence since his conviction and deportation for his role in the 1999 Club New York shooting. Now a leader in the Belize House of Representatives, Barrow maintains his innocence in the crime, claiming he defended Diddy in the aftermath, only for the Bad Boys founder to turn around and call witnesses to testify against me. Barrow says Sean Combs basically sent him to prison and called Combs someone who ruined my life. Barrow, just 18 at the time, was sentenced to 10 years for assault. Barrow served 9 years before he was deported back to his native Belize.
Talk about charges mounting. To Dr. Bethany Marshall, renowned psychoanalyst joining us out of Beverly Hills. Dr. Bethany, someone on the panel earlier said that witnesses may be more likely to come forward now because Diddy is behind bars. Now, this guy that we just heard about, former rapper Jamal Barrow, who is now leading an up and up life out of the country. Okay. Mm-hmm. He was part of the 99 New York club shooting and he went down for it. 9 years behind bars. Now he's a leader in the Belize House of Representatives, for Pete's sake. But with Diddy behind bars, more is going to come out about that 99 shooting where a woman was actually shot. She lived, but she was shot. It implicated Jennifer Lopez. So when we were talking about Diddy behind bars, how does that affect potential witnesses and victims that were afraid to come forward before?
You know, Nancy, it could cut both ways. On the one hand, there could be witnesses who were afraid to come forward because he was going to ruin their careers or put a hit out on them or threaten them in some way. On the other hand, men like P. Diddy have a preoccupation communication with other high net worth individuals. That's why he threw all those big parties. And I wouldn't be surprised to learn that in the context of those parties, he took celebrities aside, showed them pictures on his phone, bragged about a dungeon, bragged about sex workers there, and like a spider pulling a little fly into its web, he slowly started to implicate them. So there are a lot of people who are afraid to come forward now that all these allegations have come out, because in some way they're afraid they're going to be implicated. They knew something and didn't say something about it. So we have the powerless who were terrified and now could come forward. Nancy, we also have the powerful who did know something and now are afraid what will come out about them.
You've got to read this. Of course, you have to take it with a box of salt because it has not been authenticated yet. But this is full of celebrities that were in and out of orgies and more. Is it true? I don't know. But if it
Nancy,
is,
if I could make a
Hollywood's going to get a knock on the door for these people to turn into witnesses. And I want you to hear one more thing, guys. Diddy is living in an alternate universe with a very distorted self-image. Listen.
Combs started hosting his famous white parties in 1998, and they quickly became the place to be on Labor Day, an invite reinforcing your status in the entertainment industry. The parties have been hosted in the Hamptons, Beverly Hills, and even St. Tropez, France. Many have called Combs a modern-day Gatsby, a nickname he relished.
A modern-day Gatsby? Okay, my head spinning. This as Diddy behind bars. Boo-hoo. I wonder how all of the alleged victims feel tonight. We wait as justice unfolds and as we head to the courtroom for a P. Diddy status hearing. And one more word to the wise. Just recently out there, a so-called track from Justin Bieber about how he lost his life, his reputation at a Diddy party. That's not real. That's AI generated. Let's stop and remember. An American hero, Deputy Sheriff Jonathan Randall Koleski, Cobb County Sheriffs, shot and killed in the line of duty. Koleski, a U.S. Army and Georgia National Guard veteran, survived by grieving wife Amy, siblings Melissa, Megan, Jared, and Jason.
Thanks, Nance. Appreciate ya. So there's that. A little more than I was going to play on him today, but it is what it is. There's a lot of people that are going to roll with this too, you guys. And there's a lot of people that are going to come forward and say, hey, we told you guys, you didn't want to believe us. Now here we are. You know what I mean? And yes, thank you for that mystery. Rest in peace, Officer Randall. 100%. I like when she does that at the end of the shows. It's very, very nice stuff.
I mean, I guess you can find good qualities in everyone.
Yeah. Anything's possible.
You know, at least she's off now. My ears can finally start clotting from all the bleeding they've been doing listening to her.
Yeah, she's something else, I'll tell you. She definitely is something else. So the next thing I wanted to bring up and review with you guys was something that was just recently put out on Stephen Stearns. I know who. I can't stand this guy's another person whose voice makes my ears bleed. This one really does. Looking at his face makes me want to attack somebody. I'm telling you. But this is something else I definitely wanted to talk about today and review with you guys that I just saw yesterday, and I thought it was pretty interesting. Again, of course, Court TV. You guys know I'm a fan, and it was interesting to me. I think they need to put him in there with Diddy, and then that they actually need to go put all these idiots on a flipping island and leave them there, starve them to death, in my opinion. I know that's not very nice, you guys, but there's no niceties that should be given to any of these freaks and these pieces of trash, in my opinion, that do the things that they do.
I think that we should just send them all on to Alcatraz, open it back up, and send them all there.
Yeah, that's truly great idea, my friend. truly great idea, and leave them to their own devices. Lock them on the island, drop food off every now and then, leave them go. Bye. I don't think they deserve anything more than that. Make them grow and make their own food out there. Leave them go. You know what I mean? And if they don't make it, I'm sorry. Move on. Just saying.
For you, some newly released police interview footage of murder suspect Stephen Stearns. He's accused of murdering 13-year-old Madeline Soto. And before we show you the brand new videos, we're going to get you caught up on how we got to this point in the case, because he wasn't initially charged with murder. Initially, it was charges of child sexual abuse pertaining to Madeline. Court TV's Judge Ashley Wilcott reports.
It's actually a great idea, Cal. Lock them, leave them, send them all out to Epstein's Island. Leave them there together. Let them figure out how to live. End of story. Drop MREs every 3 months. That'll give them a little bit of food. They can grow and figure out the rest of it. That's a great idea. That way we don't have to deal with any of them.
Stephen Stearns is accused of murdering 13-year-old Madeline Soto, his girlfriend's daughter. Madeline went missing on the morning of February 26th, and her mother, Jennifer, spoke to WFTV the next day.
I feel like I can't breathe. All I keep thinking about is, where is she? Is she safe?
Jennifer says she realized something was wrong when she went to pick Madeline up from school, and she wasn't there.
I was the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner.
According to Stearns, he dropped Madeline off in a church parking lot next to her middle school. He also spoke to WFTV the day she went missing.
I dropped her off. Everything looked fine when I drove away. So last time we saw her, she was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out. I love her. She said, thanks, love you too. That was it.
Police began to suspect Stearns as they investigated and looked for Madeline. And when they examined his phone, investigators say they found videos and images of sexual abuse of Madeline.
During our forensic investigation, we uncovered disturbing evidence, graphic images, and videos depicting crimes being committed. It was during this examination that we learned we needed to act swiftly to remove the suspect, Stephen Stearns, from our streets.
2 days after Madeline went missing, Stearns was arrested and charged with 60 child sex crimes. On March 1st, Madeline's body was found in a wooded area off of a 2-lane road, 40 minutes from where Madeline lived with her mom and Stearns. And on April 24th, Stearns was charged with first-degree murder. He pleaded not guilty.
The evidence shows an individual that was entrusted to keep Madeline safe, made calculated moves to dispose Madeline's belongings and place her body in a wooded area before she was ever reported missing.
Investigators say Madeline was never dropped off or near her school. Surveillance video allegedly shows Stearns returning to the family's apartment complex the morning she disappeared, with Madeline visible in the car. Detectives believe she was already dead.
We know this case has gained significant public attention because Madeline had just celebrated her 13th birthday and was just a child. The indictment signifies a crucial step forward in our quest for justice.
It's such an upsetting case this is. Now, we're going to show you those newly released video pieces, this video evidence of Stephen Stearns talking with investigators. In this first clip we're going to look at, he's talking to police about the birthday party for Madeline. Remember, she just celebrated her birthday. This is before she went missing. Take a look.
I know that you were brought up here by detectives, right? Detectives drove you? Okay. And that was earlier today. I have no idea how long ago that was. It was sometime today. Sometime today. So being that you're here, we're here, you were taken here by detectives, I just need to get this out of the way just so we can talk about how we're or where she may be, okay? All right. Have you ever been in trouble ever in your life? Yeah. Okay. Have you ever had your rights read to you at any point in your life? I must have. Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm going to do them again just to get it out of the way, and then we can talk about school and stuff like that. Okay. All right. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning. Do you understand these rights? Okay, perfect. All right. So before we start talking, one last thing. Can you just raise your right hand? Do you swear and affirm that the statement you're about to give is the truth, nothing but the truth, to the best of your knowledge, so help you God? Yes. Beautiful. Okay. All right. So she had a birthday recently. She had a birthday party Sunday. Is that right? Sunday, yeah. Okay. So did you come to the party?
No, I was not. I was on my way up at that point.
Okay. So the party ends. Did you pick them up from the party?
Someone must have dropped her off.
Okay.
She was there when I got there. She had asked me to make sure that the shower and did her bedtime routines, which she did. She was already on top of it, so nothing to do there.
Okay. What time do you think you got back from Kissimmee?
What time I got into Kissimmee?
Yeah.
Maybe 8 o'clock, 83-ish, something like that.
And I apologize if you've answered these questions before. It's just like I said, we're coming into the game late, so I may ask you things that you've already answered probably 3 or 4 times.
Well, I apologize as well. My memory is not super reliable on time frames. I've been medicated for the better part of a week.
Okay, that's fine. What do you take medicine for?
Anxiety mostly. I've been having some money troubles lately. Anxious over that, so.
Okay, well, hopefully your money troubles get better.
I've been medicated on Ativan since probably Saturday.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so when you got to Kissimmee and you got to the apartment, what happened? Like,
made some dinner, made some ramen. I love how I make my ramen. Then we started watching Sister Act, but it was time for her to start getting ready. Basically, just as we were starting Sister Act.
Okay.
And that was just about bedtime.
What time is bedtime?
Usually 10:30, 11-ish,
Okay.
something like that. It's a spectrum, not a set time.
Mm-hmm. Then, so who's going through the bedtime routine? Because I know Jennifer says she has somewhat of a little routine too that she does. Is it her you're talking about?
Jennifer's routine is taking her meds, eating some food so that she can have the proper calories for the meds. And then she's got about an hour to do whatever she needs to do because she needs to fall asleep at that point.
Okay, gotcha.
Her bedtime routine is taking her bedtime meds, brushing her hair. She should have showered that night. And then she goes to bed as well. Usually with some bombs or something on in the background. Bombs, burgers.
Got it. What are the sleeping arrangements?
She sleeps in.
Okay. Did she sleep in her bed Sunday night?
No. I was just back. I had been away for a couple months. We in the same bed together, so we get some serious sleep. So she said no to that and suggested that the guest room upstairs had a big enough bed. So some snuggle cuddle time that would suffice, and Jen would get to sleep in peace.
Okay. So you say snuggle time. What does that mean?
Like to be alone. She is extremely dependent. She does not like to be alone at all. She needs human presence around her. Basically.
Gotcha.
We've been trying to wean her off of that, but it's been difficult.
All right, so Jennifer says, "Go up." So snuggle time with you to help her go to sleep. Is that right?
Just bedtime. Yeah.
Bedtime. Okay. Did you stay in the room the entire night?
Not the entire night. I'm usually up and down sometimes. So I might go grab a drink or something, or I'm up and down sometimes.
Gotcha. But you didn't at any point go. Okay. All right. So the night goes on, morning time comes around, and it's school. I'm walking through that a little bit.
Morning routine. She usually starts waking up. We set about 3 alarms. The first one goes off and we let her keep snoozing.
Do you remember what time her alarm goes off? Or what?
Not really. Maybe 7:30ish. I'm not sure. Alarm goes off. We let her snooze about 3 times while we start getting ourselves ready. And after the 3rd snooze, it's time for her to get up for real and start getting ready. Typically, she will have showered the night before, so she needs to brush her hair, brush her teeth, get her book bag together, eat some breakfast if she's going to eat there, and then we eventually make our way out the door.
Okay. So walk me through, like, you leave, you take her to school in your car?
Yeah.
Okay. And what kind of car do you have?
It's a Lincoln. It's actually my parents' car because my car is down south. It needs maintenance, and we're scared to drive it too much. So I'm driving a Lincoln right now. Got out early. The plan was to get some McDonald's on the way. So we got out nice and early.
Do you remember what time you left, roughly?
Not 100%. Okay. I'm sorry. My memory has not been super reliable.
No, that's fine.
But it was early. Maybe 7:30, 7:45, something like that. I'm not sure. I'm honestly not certain.
That's fine.
The plan
was Jennifer awake when you guys left?
Semi-awake. I was giving her updates as we were going along. Getting ready, she's getting dressed. We're leaving now. Goodbye. But she was sleeping in, so I was just giving her little updates and poking my head in as we went. But we leave the house. We start making our way to the school. Most of the time, we make our way over towards her school area. I ask her if she's still in the mood for McDonald's. She says no. She doesn't want it anymore. Okay. Continued on. It was still pretty early though, I think. We still had some time to kill. It wasn't really time to drop her off yet. I had apparently forgotten my clicker key fob for the gate. So I ended up actually turning around at some point and going back to the community to get the clicker. I had to use my parking sticker to get in for the guy to scan. I had some errands to run afterwards, and I wanted to have my phone. But we still had plenty of time as far as I knew. So we did that, grabbed the clicker, left again, and that's when we drove over to her school area, and I dropped her off where I dropped her off.
Okay. Do you remember where you dropped?
It's great to have you back, Bama. Thank you for joining us today, and hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, it was the stretch of road. I forget the street name. It was the stretch of road that the school is on. Make a right onto it. It goes down a little ways. There's some communities over here, and then up further there's a church, and then there's the overpass and the school on the other side of the overpass right there. I dropped her off on that stretch where the communities are.
Was she by herself when you dropped her, or was her friends there?
Yeah, she was by herself. She said she was going to go find her friends and hang out, wait for them to show up.
Okay.
It was still early.
Where did you go after that? Like, did you see her walk towards the...
I saw her making her way towards the direction of the school, but she was like kind of shuffle steps. She was meandering her way there. She was rummaging through her backpack for something. I assume she was looking for headphones, maybe. But as it turns out, she did leave her phone at home that day, so she might have actually been looking for her phone.
Gotcha, okay. What was she wearing when she left, or when you dropped her off?
Green hoodie, black shorts, black or blue, black shorts, white Crocs.
White Crocs.
Still to come here on Court TV Live, what Stephen Stern says happened when he dropped Madeline off at school. We now know that's a big fat lie. We're going to watch more of this police interview together next as Court TV Live continues on this Monday morning. Not charged, but she could be, depending on what the investigation uncovers. In this video clip you're about to see, Stephen Stearns is telling police about the morning he dropped Madeline off at school. But we know now that Madeline's school said that she never made it to class.
All right, so she's walking towards the school. Do you continue straight when you leave? Or do you turn around?
I turned around and went back the other way. I was watching her in my rearview mirror. And she was going the right direction, so it looked okay.
And where did you go after that?
The next stop I wanted to go to was the vape shop. It opened at 10, so I had a little while, so I just kind of meandered around and eventually made my way over there to wait for it to open. It didn't open when it was supposed to, so I left and came home, and then went back about an hour later when I was sure it would have to be open at that point. Got what I needed there, and made my way back to home again. Relaxed and hung out with Jen for a while. Seemed like any other morning.
When you got back home after school, was Jennifer home at that time?
I think she was on her way home. I think that she had a blood appointment, and we were both kind of going to arrive very shortly within time with each other.
Okay. So when you got home, when both of you got home, walk me through the rest of the day.
Just hung out, chit-chatted. I mean, I don't know. It's not much to recollect.
But you stayed at home pretty much all day, or no?
Pretty much until maybe noon-ish or 1 o'clock. I had a few errands to run, but I wanted to be back in time for us to go. So I just ran up and down 192. Ended up getting a flat at some point, which made me late to get.
Where'd you get a flat at?
Somewhere along 192.
192 is a big road.
It is, and honestly, it all looks the same to me. So I've been asked, do you remember what plaza you were next to, what color? And I'm like, I'm ADD as it is, and I was in a medicated fog for the better part of a week. I'm lucky I remember what color I'm wearing right now.
Do you remember what errands you were running?
Yeah, I wanted to go check out some game shops.
Where were these game shops?
There's Coliseum of Comics, there's House Rule Games nearby. A lot of the Targets and Walmarts carry the game I was looking forward to. We just had a new release on Friday, so even though I don't have much in the way of money right now, I still wanted to look and see what the situation is.
It's always nice to window shop.
It is. And I'm a serial consumer. So I was just driving around up and down 192, sort of just aimlessly, honestly. Just killing time till it was time to go back.
All right, so when you got home, did you and Jennifer leave from school?
So I got home. It was 10 minutes later than Jen had wanted to. By 10 minutes, I called her and said, "Hey, where are you? I'm so sorry. I got a flat." She already left. She had been gone for 10 minutes. It didn't make sense for her to come back and get me. She likes to be the first in line when the kids start coming out.
Okay, then wasn't at school. So what happened? Did Jennifer call you after that, or what?
I was already on the phone with her while she was waiting. We were just chit-chatting. We do that. We just keep each other company, even if we're not physically together. You know? And she's... That's when we started asking questions, you know. Did she go somewhere else? Did she know that you were going to come pick her up? Did she possibly go to her office, which has kind of been what she's been doing for the past working a new schedule. So we started making all the calls. No one had seen her yet. So that's when we started getting a lot more concerned and panicked. She drove around a little more, looking for her, looking along the walking paths, and didn't see anything. Went to her not there, waited around, not there, went back to the school, not there. At that point, the whole family started rallying up and going to
What a tangled web we weave. Now, we know the school said Madeline never made it. Let's talk about this story, though. He told investigators, I'm sure as they're sitting there, they know she never made it. Let's bring in Sunny Slaughter and ask her what she's thinking right now. Okay, Sunny, watching from afar, looking at these two subjects. I know that something we were talking about off air was that the dynamics in that room are jumping out to you with these investigators and how they're playing this with Stearns. Kind of take us there, explain to us what they're doing, please.
Thanks, Julie, for the opportunity to talk about this again. Initially, I did not see the second officer that you never hear speaking in any of the video. And it's really important because most interviews happen with two people in the room, one for safety reasons, but the other is you will notice that this interview, only one officer is speaking. And that is because somebody has to lead the interview and control the narrative and control the questions. So you don't hear them talking over one another. Also, you want a clear sound for the recording and to understand how the individual is answering. So while the one officer is asking all of the other questions, the second person is in the room and they are usually taking notes. This person is not, he's not taking actual physical notes, but he is taking notes of the things that are being said. He is calculating, he is listening intentionally to the things that are not being said, and he's making mental notes of that. There's also probably someone outside of the room that is where the mirrors are or where the recording is, and they're listening, and because you don't want to stop a person from talking. So the control setting is so that you really get the most information, which is why the interviews take time, they're slow, and on TV sometimes they're erratic, and that can happen. But in this particular case, they are trying to get to what really happened, even though they already know what, that Madeline is, what they found on the phone. They need to elicit the answers so that the questions that they ask later are really fall out from, and have a clear understanding. So when they take this case to the prosecution for an indictment and arrest, that they have the answers that they need to at least get that step one in. So that this is a very controlled interview, a very quiet and soft, not rattling type of interview. So they can elicit facts because this is a missing persons and a missing child.
Yes, yes. And as you told us earlier, Sonny, making him comfortable is so key. Sometimes we see, and it looks like a detective is befriending a suspect. No, not at all. They want the suspect to think that, obviously, want them to think so, that they're out to help them and all that jazz. But the case is no, they're trying to get the admissions. And we know they know. So that's what's really cool about being able to watch it back now together. They're going to hit him with it soon. Sonny, stand by kindly, please. We're going to hit a break. When we come back, we'll show you more of that interview with Stephen Stearns.
Sarah Boone is charged with second-degree murder after her boyfriend suffocated inside of a suitcase.
Stephen Stearns for the first time. He said he drove her to school, but the school later said she never arrived. Here he is telling the officer about that alleged ride that took place that morning.
How was she like on the car ride there?
She calmed down, sleeping. Sleeping along the way. She does that.
How often have you?
Not often, honestly. This might have been my third or fourth morning school run. I'm not normally the one to do it.
And on the other occasions, has she had you drop her off in around the same location, or how does that?
She has this image thing. I guess she only likes to be seen getting out of certain cars in front of the school. But mine's, I guess, kind of a hoopty, and she's embarrassed.
Lincoln?
Nice looking Sentra. So yeah, this is not the first time she's asked me to drop her off a little ways down so she could walk up and look cool.
So you say she was conked out on the way there. You said you took her to school, or you were on her way to school. You needed to turn around to get your clicker.
Correct.
Was she sleeping then too?
She was. Yeah.
Okay.
It had been an early morning, so I figured it'd be fine to let her sleep in the car ride.
Okay. When you got back to the apartment complex, or did you go in the front gate, or because I know there's the front entrance and then the back entrance?
When I came back after forgetting my phone.
Yeah. So which way did you leave?
I would have had to go in the front.
Okay.
And the guy scanned it. And I got in and got my fob and left. I don't remember if I left out the front or the back.
Did you stop anywhere else in? No.
Not that I recall, no.
Okay. Did you take any trash out from the apartment?
The night before, I think I did. I'm not sure. I took the trash out at some point, but I don't remember if it was the night before or it was the morning of. But yeah, sometimes we get trash bags piling up by the door. To see them.
Is there like a common trash place, or like is there take their trash to?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that where you took the trash out?
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't remember if that was Sunday night or Monday morning?
It could have been Sunday night. I don't recall. I'm sorry, I was in the fog.
Well, okay. So, where? You don't know?
Supposedly they got video of her walking past the church or waiting at the church for a while and then leaving.
How's your relationship with her?
Great. one of her favorite people in the world.
How old are you?
I'm 37. About to be 38.
You seem like a genuinely nice person.
I try to be.
Jennifer talks very highly of you. So the morning school, when you came back, get your clicker. What was or?
She wasn't saying anything. She was just asleep. She was just reclined in the chair, sleeping.
Okay, explain to me, like reclining backwards.
Just laying back in the chair. Just like that, I guess.
Okay. All right. Stuff on here. I'm too old to lie to people. Too old to beat around the bush. And we seem like we're having a generally good conversation right now. Okay. The only thing that I ask for from you is, and I will reciprocate, I want you to be honest with me as much as I'm being honest with you. Okay. There's cameras all over the place, as you can imagine. Nowadays, cameras are everywhere. Okay. So we see you coming in at the guard shack. Okay. We see you go by the dumpster. Okay.
I may have taken some trash with me then.
What was in the trash?
House trash.
House trash?
Yeah. So it must have been that morning then. We'll toss trash bags on the back seat, and wherever we're going on our way out, we'll drop that on the way. I think I may have mentioned to her before her. I'll have to double check.
Okay. Was everything in trash bags?
I'm sorry?
Was everything in trash bags, or was there any items that were just tossed along with the bag?
I think it would have been trash bags or maybe some boxes too. Some birthday stuff, leftovers. I can't remember exactly what.
Okay. Did she have her backpack with her?
Yes.
She did. Did she have her school computer with her?
Yes. Presumably, yes.
Presumably. Okay.
She should have.
Once again, this goes back with the whole honesty thing. There was things in that trash bag that got thrown away that probably shouldn't have been thrown away. Okay. We'll get that in a minute. But right now, our main focus is finding. That is our number one focus right now. Okay. Do you have any idea where she may be?
No.
None whatsoever.
No.
Okay. Something may have happened. Do you think
I don't think so. I don't think what could have happened.
Okay. All right. Do you know anybody that lives in St. Cloud? Do you know where St. Cloud is?
St. Cloud, that's It's north or south?
East.
East
of Kissimmee.
Yeah. I haven't been out there too much. Yeah, I'm familiar with St. Cloud.
Okay. Whereabouts in St. Cloud? Like, do you know friends out there, or?
I don't have any friends really. I've driven out there a few times before. Mostly just when I'm meandering up and down 192.
Were you out there this week?
Yeah, I was out there sometime this week. Sometimes I just drive and meander around and explore. Drive till I don't know where I am, and drive till I know where I am again. And I don't know, just driving it's peaceful sometimes.
All right.
If I got time to kill, I'll just drive around.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you're saying when she had her backpack, presumably her school computer was in her backpack, and you described her wearing a green jacket, some kind of dark colored shorts, and white Crocs. Okay. Well, I can confidently tell you she did not go to school with her backpack.
How's that?
Because we found it in the trash. So, Stefan, here's what I'm asking you and pleading with you is to dig down and do some soul searching. Okay? You understand? The family's pleading with you. I'm pleading with you because this is that we need to find. And it's, as more time goes by, it's tough. I have kids, he's got kids. And this little girl's out there somewhere that we need to know where. And I really, really, really think you can help us. I mean, you want to get something off your chest. I don't know what it is, but I'm pleading with you.
I don't know. I don't.
What happened?
I dropped her off.
Where?
I dropped her off on the road to school. That was the last I saw her.
Sometime throughout the night on Sunday, did you guys have any interaction, conversations?
What, like fight?
No, I'm not saying fight. Just, did you guys sit up and talk, or?
We talked while I was making ramen. She was excited about her choir performance coming up. She was singing a little bit. I told her it was pretty. It reminded me of Sister Act. That's why I wanted to show her that movie. Just talk about a crush she had on the boy.
How'd that make you feel?
Fine. She knows she's not old enough to date, but I told her crush on. Get your crush. That's healthy.
Do you think, has she had any boyfriends in the past?
Not per se, like boyfriends as however they can be early on, but we decided that she was too young. Needed to avoid that BS.
Being that she's too young, so she shouldn't be having sex with boys.
She's all the that stuff. None of it counts. None of it's real. I just told her she'd be better off waiting until high school.
Disgusting. it boils my blood and nauseates me. I know it does you too at home. And what great police work here. They knew all along that they had that backpack. They knew she never made it to school. And there's more to come. This was just bomb number one that they dropped, finding her things in the dumpster. Let's bring in someone with lots of experience doing investigations. He retired as a commander of the K-9 unit in the Nassau County Police Department. Lieutenant Mike Gould is with us. Good morning, Lieutenant. Ooh, what do you think as you watch this suspect in that interview room?
I'll be honest with you guys. There's no way I could have sat at that table knowing what they knew, talking to him without putting my hands on him. That's a fact. And once I would have done it, you would have not been able to pull me off of him. Just saying.
Yeah, good morning, Julie. Yeah, nauseating to say the least, of course.
Yeah, that's very true. That's when Jen said, he needs a lawyer, you piece of garbage. No, he doesn't. That's your daughter. I don't even want to get started.
But, I'm often critical with hindsight watching interviews by police. Actually, in the Sarah Boone, in the same jurisdiction, I was a little bit critical with the benefit of 20/20 hindsight. This interview is perfect. If I was teaching a class in the police academy, I would use this video. The interviews are theatrical performances, and they have to be treated like that. Sometimes investigators don't realize it. They want to get to the facts. They come in hot. Sometimes they're not preparing for the interview. And you actually have to know the right interviewer.
Well, they knew that if they would have came in on him hot, he'd have closed up, shut down, and that'd been the end of it. He's a bitch, guys, period. I hate to use that word, but that's what he is. And that's why they did it. I would have paid money to watch them come in on him hot and just go at him and watch him probably cry because that's who he is. But that's why they handled this way in the beginning, truly.
I might not be the right interviewer for this particular case because I'd probably strangle this guy. When he starts talking about snuggling and stuff, I cringe. So this is theatrical. The elements of the interview room, there's a soda, there's a water. Everybody is relaxed. There's no note taking. This guy, the main interviewer, is so relaxed, and he slips in his Miranda warnings. It's so I think it's perfect. I can't A+ on how they're presenting this or doing this interview. Perfect.
Oh, Lieutenant Gould, I hope this gets back to those investigators. I really do. They know there's been a lot of eyes on this case, people around the world watching, not just in America, but as you know, we have a national and international viewing audience. And so people around the world heard about this missing child and got invested in the case. And so to hear what great work they've done with your acknowledgement, I'm sure means a whole heck of a lot. When we think too about how nauseating it is, I would imagine that would be tough to hide. As you said, sometimes I'm sure some cases just shake you to your core. Like you said, you have to know if you can manage your temperament in the room with somebody. And I think same goes for prosecutors, defense attorneys, especially those who serve publicly. If you feel like, look, this just isn't something I can stomach, you got to pass it off to a colleague. How tough is that, Lieutenant, to try to separate your personal feelings from the task at hand?
Yeah. So as long as you keep in mind constantly the goal, so you're goal oriented, you can then more easily put your emotions aside. But these interviews are a battle of body language, actually. So as I said, when they said snuggle time, or she said it's snuggle time, I cringed. I probably had some, if you were looking at me, you could probably observe that. So it's very difficult. This interviewer is, as I said, perfect. His shoulders are relaxed. His arms are open. He's lean. He's just relaxed. Where the defendant, he has never unfolded his arms. He, as you said earlier in your previous statement, it depends on the technique I was going to use. If I wanted to come in hot, maybe I would tell him to take his hat off and stand up, sit up straight in his chair. But they're just going like they're just best friends. They already know the answers. As you know, Julie, a good prosecutor, a good cop already knows the answers to the questions they're asking. So you can be your own lie detector, so to speak, because you can start watching how the person reacts to the facts. So again, classic, perfect. It's not easy, but these guys are both of them are terrific, because the other guy's got to refrain from talking, and he's got to be relaxed. So the space between the three people is about 6 foot. They're not in each other's space. Well lit, like Hollywood set. Perfect.
Just perfect. Lieutenant Mike Gold, a great analysis from you to kick things off. Stand by kindly, please. We're going to hit a break. When we come back, police are questioning Steph.
A little bit sometimes.
Has she ever, because I asked Jennifer the same thing, has she ever disclosed to you about being sexually active with boys?
No.
Do you know if she's ever been sexually active with anybody in the past?
Not that I'm aware of. I heard there was some sort of incident when she was much younger where she did something with a phone or a camera, but got scolded for it. She was very young. She didn't know. She got scolded for it, though. But it's vague. It's just remembering what someone said offhand.
All right. What happened to him?
Flat tire. I haven't changed a flat tire in about 10 years. I made a rookie mistake and had my thumb too close to where the jack and the frame meet. And it slipped, and the frame came down on my thumb and pinned it between the jack. Which I feel like I got off surprisingly light with that.
Ouch.
I yanked it free. You're not supposed to do that. It looks okay. It's got the worst of it. Some bruising under the nail.
What about the other scratches?
Courtesy of a janky tire iron and the road.
Did you bleed at all?
Yeah, this one had some blood and this one had some blood, but not much. It clotted fast.
Do you know what popped your tire at all?
I have no idea. The tire just started going floppy and then
pretty worn out.
Really floppier and then just completely freaking separated. Thank God we had a spare and a jack. Janky as it was.
So typically when changing a tire and stuff, you tend to get brake dust and dirty and all that.
Yeah.
Did you happen to...
Positive that I breathed in some freaking brake dust or tire dust or something because I was coughing the rest of the afternoon.
What'd you end up doing to clean up or stop the bleeding and stuff?
Nothing, actually. Just went home and washed my hands and that was it.
Did your clothes get all messed up and all, or?
Not bad, surprisingly.
What were you wearing, by chance?
This. So I think I'm still wearing this. I'm still wearing the same clothes.
Oh, so you kept pretty clean?
Try to, I guess.
You weren't wearing a red shirt?
I was wearing a red shirt early in the morning. But I changed clothes later because that shirt was in a couple days old at that point. And the flat tire happened after that.
Did a flat tire happen before or
after?
After?
After. It was sometime afternoon between noon and like 2:30. I don't know how long it took me to fix it.
Did you change your shirt before or after going back to get the gate clicker?
I don't recall. Maybe after. I can't. I'm so sorry. I'm medicated. I've been medicated all week. My memory is just not as reliable as I would like it to be right now. You know, I was in a fog and half asleep that morning as it was.
On her own when you took her to school?
Yes.
pants on fire, right? So let's bring in our guest, Lieutenant Mike Gould, to talk about this guy. Okay, Lieutenant, what signals to you any deception from this guy?
Just about everything. He remembers certain things in great detail. These investigators are playing him like a fiddle. You know, one of the things that he said that really jumped out at me, and I'm very psychologically oriented, he said, if I had time to kill, I would drive up and down 192 kind of endlessly. And I think that was a cue that he's subconsciously revealing. So his guilt all over the place here. And these guys are going to bring it all out in very sequential questions, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. But yeah, no, as I say, he says, when I have time to kill. That was jumped out at me. And these investigators are amazing.
Mm-hmm. They are. That was eerie. I'm glad you said it, Lieutenant. It was eerie when he said that. And how about the body language when he says it? You know, he's slumped over, the arms crossed, that disrespectful backwards hat on in front of these detectives. What do you think of his body language? If you're in that room and you're kind of studying it, what's it giving off to you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I look at things before and after. So everybody, including myself, I have tics. I talk with my hands. Right now, during this interview, I have to hold my hands down consciously. So
I have the same problem, Lieutenant. Yeah,
So
yeah, always. Yeah,
I'm going back and forth. Yeah, so if you know my before behavior, now we can look at body language in the interview room. So he's very calculated. He has an extremely good recollection of when the vape shop opened, what time, all of these things. When we get close to questions that the investigators know are going to implicate him in this crime, he starts to say, I'm medicated, I don't really remember. He remembers extraordinary details that I wouldn't remember about yesterday. So I think this is going to be a slam dunk, honestly. His arms never come across. The investigator's arms are open and they're leaning forward. And he has these, regardless of what he thinks, he has a lot of nervous tics that he's revealing when asked about his hands and how he was able to describe that in great detail, how those injuries occurred. So this is not going well for him, for Soto, thankfully, whatsoever.
No, you're so right, Lieutenant. It's going to get worse, too. There's more. Stand by kindly, please. We're going to hit a break. When we come back, we're going to see police finally tell Stephen Stearns about the evidence they found on his cell phone. You don't want to miss this. We'll be right back. To hit him where it hurts. They're about to hit him with the evidence they discovered on his cell phone.
What are you thinking about?
This is truly what I've been wanting to see the whole day. I want to see his reaction, either the denial or just the idiot that he is come out. That's all I've been waiting to see, truly.
So I'm spacing out here. Long day, no sleep.
Who else has access to your car? Are you the only one that drives it?
My parents have access.
But here in Kissimmee?
Yeah, in Kissimmee, I'm pretty much the only one with access to it.
So safe to say you'd be the only male driving that Lincoln?
Presumably, yes.
All right, I want to get back a little bit to you saying she's not allowed to have boyfriends or anything like that.
She can have crushes. She likes them. That's right.
All right, have you and her ever exchanged, do you guys exchange text messages? How do you guys communicate?
FaceTime. She'll FaceTime me at night when I'm not around before bedtime to say goodnight. I'm talking. Sometimes we don't even talk about anything. We'll just sit there doing our own thing and just with each other's faces on the phone. Just spending time, you know.
What happened? So the deputies made a comment. So what happened to your phone?
I have no idea what happened to my phone. I was pushing off doing this update for a while and I ended up trying to do it. I don't know what the hell, my head being in the state it was, I wasn't paying attention. I ended up somehow doing some sort of option that updated the OS, but it ended up like wiping my phone at the same time. Even just now, the phone that my dad gave me and set up for me, I literally just pulled it out of my pocket and the sucker was reinitializing again. So I don't know if it's just me and technology right now, or I'm just not paying attention, or...
Did that happen once to your phone, or how many times do you think you updated your phone?
I think I tried to update it twice, and I don't know what happened.
Okay, and from what I understand, that you gave the deputies consent to look through your phone. You did, okay. And you voluntarily gave it to them so they could bring it here to do the extraction and stuff like that. Okay. What do you think was on the phone?
Text messages. Emails. Phone stuff.
Pictures?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of pictures were on there?
Training card pictures, lightsaber pictures, Disney pictures.
Do you have a Google account?
Yeah.
Do you save pictures to your Google account?
Sometimes.
Or is it automatically? I know sometimes phones sync to a cloud and...
Yeah, I think it backs up to Google.
And then sometimes when you reset your phone and your phone updates and puts these apps back on your phone, sometimes they will put the images back on your phone.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you have
I assume so.
Do you have any pictures of you?
Probably. I mean, we went to Disney, took selfies on the train. She got back from Puerto Rico and had her hair braided. We got pictures of that. All sorts of pictures. Family events. I'm not as much of a shutter button. I take them every once in a while.
Any other pictures I can think of? Here's where I'm going to be brutally honest with you. There's your phone. And I'm pretty sure you know what some of those pictures are about. You're a very intelligent person. And I don't want you to discredit yourself by saying you don't know about all the pictures that are on your phone. You understand what I'm saying? So do you want to add to the list of pictures?
I don't know. Should I be talking with a lawyer right now?
I can't answer that question. My sole purpose right now is to see if I can find, and I'm really hoping you can help me.
Okay. Well, I'd like to try to help, but I feel like I should probably have a lawyer present at this point.
So you're wanting an attorney?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That can happen. I want to let you know you're not free to leave. You're being detained, okay? Do you want to know what you're being detained for?
Yeah.
Capital sexual battery and possession of child pornography.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to step out. If you need anything, please tap on this door. Okay? And there's going to be detectives outside that will be able to assist you.
Okay.
Well, good luck to you, Mr. Is it Stearns?
Yeah.
Stern.
They got him. They got him. Did you see that look of defeat on his face as soon as they left the room? Let's bring in Lieutenant Mike Gould, watching along, our law enforcement analyst on the program today. Lieutenant, you had been saying how these detectives did a masterful job in all of the questioning, the build up. What did you think of the finish there?
Oh, it's again textbook. You know, when I was watching, I felt like it was a father-son, like a family conversation. Father-son, maybe the other investigator was his brother. It was empathetic, but to the point. He paused. The tempo of it was spectacular. They dropped the hammer, and it couldn't have been, in my view, I don't know how it could have been better. You know, and again, back to my point earlier, you have to know your strength. I might be the right person.
And they did a beautiful job, too, as soon as he legally lawyered up, because this is the kind of little thing I'm watching for. Do they continue and push? Because I've seen that happen, and then that's a mess for prosecutors. But no, they didn't. They stopped right there, said it can happen. We'll leave you alone. Let us know if you need anything. They wished him luck. Very respectful, just so professional. And I'm sure that was very hard dealing with this guy who has allegedly done some of the most cruel, sick, disgusting, vile things. And how about how his demeanor, Lieutenant, really doesn't shift? You know, as soon as he realizes, like, the light bulb goes off in his head, like, oh no, they know, no, I need a lawyer. He didn't really seem that shaken up, did he?
No, not at all. And the investigator said he's intelligent. He is intelligent. He's intelligent and calculated. Anytime a question started to get towards guilt, he was able to shift the narrative with his medication story. So I think they did, as you said, they walked out of the room. They didn't press him because they don't need to. They have everything they need at this moment in time. Of course, evidence will be added as we go. But I think if this interview was played to a jury and described properly by the prosecution, it's very compelling in my mind. Like I said, it's like
he's such a piece of shit, you guys. Such a piece of shit. That's another problem I have. This man did not show any. He's not a man. This piece of garbage didn't show any remorse. He didn't show any kind of. He didn't move. Like that's how garbage this guy is. He didn't move. He didn't show emotion. He didn't break down. He did nothing, guys. Nothing. It's disgusting to me. Absolutely disgusting.
Watching a lie detector test, only without the lie detector, just watching his consistent behaviors, his comments. He remembers he took pictures when she got her hair braided. That's weird. He didn't say he just took pictures of her because they were having fun at Disney. So to me, there's a lot of little subconscious psychological admissions here that will be brought out at trial if it even goes to trial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great point, Lieutenant. Yeah, they're looking for the death penalty with this guy. So if it even goes to the point of a trial. Thank you for all of that. And there's more, Lieutenant. We've got one more clip. They're going to go back in that room and place him under arrest. We'll be right back.
Okay. So basically, this young lady here, we're going to swab your cheek. You know, we're going to take some of your clothes, stuff like that, okay? So she is going to take some pictures of you as well, like your hands. We're going to ask you to take your jacket off so we can get your arms and all that stuff too, okay?
What's your driving hand?
All right, so in the name of the state of Florida, all right, any sworn custodian police officer, Osceola County Sheriff's Deputy, Orange County Deputy, sworn investigator of the State Attorney's Office of the Ninth Judicial Circuit Court of Florida, special agent of Florida Department of Law Enforcement, FDLE, or any sworn police officer, deputy sheriff acting under a mutual aid or cooperation agreement with the Sheriff's Office of Osceola County. Whereas before me, the Honorable Judge it's hard to read his handwriting, of the 9th Judicial Circuit of Orange County, Osceola County. The sworn written application affidavit search warrant has been made on this date by Detective Moore of the Kissimmee Police Department, assigned to the Criminal Investigations Division. And whereas the facts made known in this application and search warrant, there may be cause to certify and find probable cause to believe that certain evidence, to wit, DNA, genetic material, buccal swabs from you, Stephen Michael Stearns, blood, saliva, or epithelial cells to be collected from you, Michael Stearns, photographs and swabs of your penis, and clothing worn by you as of right now. All right, this is evidence. This is believed to be evidence of the felony crime that we've already talked about that took place in Florida, which is a violation of statute 7940114B and 8270715A, prohibiting the crimes of sexual battery, possession of material depicting sexual performance of a child.
And if you could put your hands out like this and turn them over. Do you have what I can out this watch? Yes, that will work. And your hat also, please. If you can take off your shirt. Last sip of water before you go?
Yes, please.
Yes, okay.
Oh, please. Thank you.
All of it?
We won't go on until we get the time.
Would you like some more?
Just all okay.
Okay, head out there, just wait with her. She'll get you a little bit more water, and then I'm going to check this room, and we'll get out of here.
Wound up having to take off that stupid backwards hat after all. Let's bring back in Lieutenant Mike Gould for some final thoughts. Oh, Lieutenant, that sure didn't go the way he had hoped it would, did it? What'd you think there when they came back in? Do you think he was at all stunned at that very humbling process that needed to take place?
Yeah, Julie, he didn't look to be. He's very stoic throughout the whole interview. He wasn't very animated at all, even when pressed. Kudos to law enforcement. They did a great, they're so professional coming in. The technicians, the evidence technicians that came in, they respected his space. So with all of these things, and again, this doesn't have to be the smoking gun. That will come later with other evidence. But they had, to me, as I said, it was admission of guilt in a very subconscious way over and over again with certain behavioral tics that people can't control. I certainly can't control mine, as I said earlier. So you can. When he went for his glass of water 2 or 3 times, when the question was getting to the heart of guilt, so to speak. So no, this was a good one, a good day for law enforcement in this regard. Like I said, that whole team, they're always about 6 feet away. They're not cramming. They're not getting into a space. And space is important when just talking to another human being. If you get too close, that could shut somebody down. Just perfect.
I'm with you, Lieutenant. Kudos to them. I really like how you said that. What a good day for law enforcement. And so they've got him behind bars. He's not going anywhere anytime soon, if ever. He's looking at the death penalty for this case. Things are as bad as it gets for him legally. Jennifer Soto, not charged, the mother. I want to ask you about her, please, Lieutenant, because there's this cloud of suspicion, as you know, surrounding this woman about what she knew, because boyfriend's living in her home with her daughter. She lied to police. We know that initially when she initially had said that she went with him to drop her daughter off at the school, which we know never happened. So we know she's been dishonest. We know that she expressed knowledge that she may have known something was going on. There were some comments she made about, well, I needed to get a good night's sleep, so, I go in my room alone and just leave her with him, essentially. I'm paraphrasing, but what she said. So there are a lot of people who think that she knew exactly what was going on and didn't do enough to protect the child. Do you think we will see charges for Jen Soto in the future, Lieutenant?
Yeah, Julie, I certainly think she knows more than she's saying, for certain. But we all often talk about denial in these cases. Was it good judgment? Of course, it was horrible judgment to have her 13-year-old daughter sleep with a boyfriend. She should have been sleeping on the couch or some version of that. So I don't know if it's going to rise to criminal activity or any conspiracy, or I doubt that, honestly, from what I can tell as we sit here. But yeah, she knows more, and they'll get that out of her. And there might be some charges of child abuse or something like that. But I don't. That's where I think it's going to go at the moment.
I appreciate that, Lieutenant Mike Gould. We love having you on this program. Thank you for all the analysis today. We'll see you very soon.
All right, y'all. There it is. That's the full deal interview with him when it all comes out. And I'm so glad that he was arrested there after that piece of trash. And I think that's going to do it for this afternoon show as well, you guys. We got something coming tonight around 9. Lighting Their Way Home is going to be joining me. We're going to be delving back into more of Murray's case. For those of you that are interested in that, please tune in. It's already up and ready to roll, guys. We will be in, yes, definitely Pure Evil Demon. I agree with you on that. But I appreciate you guys joining me for this today. It's one thing I hadn't seen. I read a lot of the affidavits and stuff to you guys, but we never actually watched the full-blown interview. I didn't, at least, with you guys. You guys may have seen other places, but I really appreciate you guys joining me for this today, as well as the other stuff with Diddy, so on and so forth. But we will be back in here at 9 p.m. tonight. It is very interesting, spooky, very interesting. Like I said, Lighting Their Way Home will be joining me tonight and giving us her side, her perspective of what is going on, has gone on with Maura Murray's missing case. I'd love to see you all and then some. So share it out, everybody. Let everybody know that that's what's going to be going on tonight. And I will see you all then. And then. So thank you all so very much for joining me both times today, guys. You guys are amazing. That's okay, SRB, no worries. Thank you, Cal. I appreciate you guys. Please make sure to come back for tonight and share it out and make sure you can bring others with you guys. I really do appreciate it. Much love to each and every one of you guys. Don't forget to love yourselves, love each other, and don't change a thing about yourselves. You guys are amazing. And I will see you all very, very, very soon. Bye-bye.
Typing at the speed of light, hunting down the shadows, bringing wrongs to right, digging deep in the data facts, sharp as a knife. With every single story, he's fighting for a life. A voice for the voiceless, he won't stay quiet. Diego's got the fire igniting the fight. True crime revelations shining through the night. With every victim story, he pulls at the strings. A hero in the darkness, hear the truth he brings. Streaming loud and clear, cracking cases, open hearts filled with fear. His channel's a beacon in a world gone wrong. He guides us through the chaos, a soldier so strong. The flakes and the lights, they follow his lead. With every new case, he plants a new seed. Sharing their stories, giving hope where it fades. Diego's a warrior through the trials he waits. In a world of silence, he shouts out their names. Diego's got the fire igniting the fight. True crime revelation shining through the night. With every victim story, he pulls at the strings. A hero in the darkness, hear the truth he brings. you rise and streaming loud and clear. True crime revelation shining through the night. With every victim's story, he pulls at the strings. A hero in the darkness, hear the truth he brings. From the shadows and loneliness, he won't let us fall. Bringing the truth out, answering the call. For every soul forgotten, he's here to stand tall. Tangle the genuine, he'll always give it his all. Dangle's got the fire igniting the fight. True crime revelation shining through the night. With every victim's story, he pulls at the strings. A hero in the darkness, hear the truth he brings. Hear the truth he brings. Dangle's on the screen, typing at the speed of light. Hunting down the shadows, bringing wrongs to right. Digging deep in the data, facts sharp as a knife. With every single story, he's fighting for a